Hannah's perspective today is a work day, but I'm not very excited about it. The best part is that I get to see my close friend Beth, who also works at the hotel. We live in the staff dorms, and our rooms are next to each other. However, she left early this morning, so I have to walk to work alone. That can be a bit fun sometimes. I change into my work uniform, which is a red dress with a white belt and collar, paired with red shoes. The girls have to wear their hair up, so I do that, grab my bag, and lock my door. As I walk down the stairs, I see Leanna, the head maid, who doesn't seem to like me much for reasons I don't understand. She has two other maids with her who enjoy teasing me. I can't respond back because she is my boss, so I just smile and walk away, trying to avoid their comments. I reach work and head to the staff changing rooms. Some staff members who live off-site come in regular clothes and change into their uniforms here. If I plan to go out later, I do the same, but if not, I stay in my work clothes. "Good morning, sir," I say to Jeremy, our manager, as I enter the reception area. "Good morning, Hannah," he replies. He tells me there is a meeting in 5 minutes, so I make my way to the conference room. I take a seat next to Beth. A little later, Jeremy walks in. "Good morning, everyone. I hope you all had a good weekend," he says, sitting at the head of the table. We respond with light murmurs. He shares the work schedule, reminding us to have a good Monday. We all stand up and respond, "Yes, sir." Beth tells me she will see me later as she has to call her boyfriend, so I nod to her as I walk upstairs. Suddenly, I bump into someone and almost fall. Thankfully, I am caught before I lose my balance. Looking up, I see Tyler Wood, who is steadying me. "Oh, I am so sorry," I say as I pull away and apologize, bowing my head to show respect. "It's fine," he replies, and I look up again. "If you don't mind, come with me now," he says. I hesitate, shaking my head. "As much as I would love to, sir, I am working, and I doubt my manager would allow it." He chuckles softly. "One moment, please," he says, taking out his phone. I hear him tell someone on the other end, "She will be with me for the rest of the day, so please excuse her absence." He hangs up and turns to me. "You are now off for the day," he announces, and I can't help but smile. "So, I have a question," Tyler says as we stroll through the hotel gardens. "What is it, Mr. Wood?" I ask, and he laughs slightly. "Are you the girl who's always with my brother, Miss Hannah?" he asks. I nod. "Yes, that's me. Xavier is my best friend, but I've never met you before." He smiles. "Then it's about time we meet." I agree with a nod. "Xavier talks about you a lot. He looks up to you," I say, and he chuckles. "I have no idea why," he replies. I stop and say, "You're joking, right, mister?" "Wood, you're a successful entrepreneur, one of the most accomplished people I know. It's natural for your younger brother to admire you." He smiles at my comment. "You know, I've never had anyone speak to me that way," he says, and I look down modestly. "I think it's just different," he adds, gently lifting my chin. "You can call me Tyler," he suggests as we walk back into the hotel. But I shake my head. "You are my boss and the hotel owner. I couldn't address you informally," I say, smiling back at him. "Well, I am asking you to do so." No one will disagree with me, and she nods. "Very well," she replies, heading toward the staff changing rooms. "This is Hannah, my brother's best friend, whom I've never met before. She is even more lovely in person. She truly takes my breath away. I'm going to my family's house tomorrow night for dinner, and she might come too. If she is there, I plan to ask her out. I hope she won't see me only as her boss, but as something more. I really think we could be a good match. Of course, she'd have to put up with my quirky friends. I know my life isn't perfect for a normal girl, but from what I've heard about Hannah and what she shared today, I believe she can handle anything that comes her way. I don't want her to think of me as cold because she is the one person who could change that." Hannah's POV. I know the Woods family is having dinner tonight, so Marissa Tyler and Xavier's mother invited me to join them. I happily said yes, knowing Tyler would be there. I just arrived. I get out of my car and lock it. I walk up the steps to the Woods family home, which is huge, almost like a mansion. When Tyler was 3, his parents left him, and he was on the streets until Marissa and Max found him. Marissa can't have kids, which made her feel bad about not being able to give Max a child. They chose to adopt Tyler instead. The Woods family has been wealthy for many years, So Tyler grew up in a life of luxury. Xavier is my age and was adopted at birth. Even though he was adopted, he looks a lot like Tyler. His mother was very young when she had him and felt she couldn't take care of a baby, which led to his adoption. Thankfully, he was placed with the Woods, who gave him a loving home. I ring the doorbell, and a few seconds later, Max opens it. "Hiya, sweetie," he says, giving me a hug. "Hey, Max," I reply as he invites me in. "Xavi," I say, sitting down on the couch next to Xavier. "Honey," he responds, wrapping his arm around my shoulder. "What's up?" I ask, and he shrugs. "Not much. Just watching another press conference about Ty's hotel," he says, pointing at the TV. "Ugh, another one. Why are they so interested in it?" I ask. He laughs and replies, "You know you like him anyway, so you shouldn't complain," which makes me blush. Xavier knows how I feel about Tyler. Surprisingly, he wasn't upset when I told him and even encourages me to go for a relationship, thinking I could be a good influence on Tyler. "When is Tyler getting here?" I ask, realizing it feels odd to call my boss by his first name. I know he told me to, but it still feels strange. Even though I am best friends with his brother, I can't quite believe he talked to me because he wanted to, not because he had to. In a few minutes, I think. Mom wants him here soon because she has made food," he says, pulling me a bit closer. "I love her cooking," I say, and he laughs. "Always thinking about food, hon," he says, and I shake my head. "No, I was just saying your mom's cooking is great," I reply. "Ah, thanks, dear," Marissa says as she walks into the room. "Always welcome, Marissa," I say, and she smiles. "I remember when you only called me Mrs. Wood," she says, and I nod. "And I remember when you thought she was dating my mom," Xavier adds with a grin, and Marissa smiles back. "Sorry, Xavier, but you two do look like a couple," she says. Just then, the back door slams. "Tyler's back," Xavier says, turning to me with a puzzled look. "Whenever Tyler comes home and sees something that bothers him, he goes outside," he says. I nod. "I should check on him," I say as I stand up. Xavier nods and goes back to watching TV. Tyler's perspective, I just walked into the house. "Sorry, Xavier." But then I hear my mom say from the living room, "You two do look like a couple." I look inside and see Hannah sitting on the couch with Xavier's arm around her. What? How could he do that? He knows I like her. I walk out the back door into the garden and sit by the fish pond, watching the fish swim. I have feelings for Hannah and told Xavier everything because he is her best friend. I didn't think he would go after her. I feel so foolish. People call me heartless. Nobody really wants to be with me. They prefer someone else without a complicated background. I feel a hand on my shoulder and turn around to see Hannah smiling at me. "Are you okay?" she asks, sitting down next to me. I nod. "I'm fine. You should go back in," I say. But she shakes her head. "Why should I do that?" she asks. I sigh. "Your friend is in there." She looks confused. "Mr. Wood? I'm not dating your brother, if that's what you mean," she replies. I smile slightly. "Oh, really? Why was he sitting so close to you?" I ask. She sighs. "We've been friends for years. We act close, but my heart is with someone else who doesn't know it," she says, drifting off at the end. "You know, your mom is pretty upset that you aren't inside yet. You should go eat," Hannah says as she stands up. She smiles at me before heading back in. I can't help but wonder if she only sees me as her boss. I guess I'll find out after dinner. I plan to ask her out for tomorrow, and hopefully she will say yes. If she does, I have some ideas for our time together. Hannah's perspective, I need to keep my distance from Tyler. While we were talking outside, I realized I was starting to have stronger feelings for him, and I don't want to get hurt if he doesn't feel the same. I'm surprised he thought I was dating Xavier. He's my best friend. A few years ago, we discussed it, but chose to stay friends, knowing it would be better that way. I couldn't imagine dating Xavier instead of Tyler. It would feel wrong, especially since I'm still figuring out my feelings for Tyler. I check my phone and see that I need to get back to the dorms soon. I stand up from the sofa and say goodbye to Xavier. "Bye, Xavi. Take care," I whisper. "Bye, honey." "I think Tyler is leaving now," he says, and I nod. He turns to Tyler and asks, "Ty, can you walk Hannah out?" Tyler nods. Sure, let me say goodbye to Mom and Dad. Tyler heads off to talk to Max. Bye, sweetie, Max says, hugging me. See you, Maxwell, I reply, and he chuckles. Remember when you called me Mr. Wood? He asks, and I nod. I have to call my boss that, I explain, and Max nods. He knows I work at Tyler's hotel, but he doesn't know I have feelings for him. Only Xavier and Marissa know. I would tell Max, but that feels a bit embarrassing. We're close, but I'm not sure about sharing my feelings for his older brother. Good night, Mr. Wood, I say to Tyler as I reach my car. Hannah, wait, he says, gently holding my wrist. I turn around, and he looks a bit nervous. Yes, Mr. Wood, I ask, and he sighs. Just Tyler, please, he replies. I nod, and he goes on. Will you let me take you out tomorrow? I smile and say, I would love to, but I have to work. He laughs a bit and says, Don't worry about that. I will call Frunter tonight to arrange a day off for you. I chuckle. You really do use your position to your advantage, I tease, and he gives a playful grin. Is this outing going to be all day? I ask. He shakes his head and says, I'll meet you outside the staff dorms tomorrow at noon. I nod in agreement. All right, then. Good night, Tyler, I say, and he smiles back. Good night, Hannah, he replies before walking to his car. I get into my car, still smiling about our chat. Does his invitation mean he likes me? I hope so. Hannah's POV. I just woke up and found 2 text messages. One is from Jeremy, but the other is from an unknown number. I check Jeremy's message first. Good morning, Hannah. Mr. Wood called me last night to let me know you have the day off. Enjoy it, and I will see you tomorrow. Jeremy. I smile. Maybe Tyler really meant what he said. I quickly type back. I know Jeremy is my boss, but we are also good friends despite being a bit awkward at work because he has feelings for me. Unfortunately, I don't share those feelings, which makes me feel guilty sometimes. Morning, Jeremy. Yes, I will be spending the day at home. I'll be back to work tomorrow. Hannah. I hesitate to mention my plans with Tyler because I don't want to seem unprofessional. I look at the second text, but I don't recognize the number. Morning, Hannah. I will see you at noon. Dress casually, and you will look beautiful as always. Oh, so it's Tyler. I guess he found my number from the staff records. I save his number and quickly reply, Hi, Tyler. I'll see you then. After I send the message, I go for a shower. After I'm done, I get dressed in blue skinny jeans, a white t-shirt with a cat design, black ankle boots, and a black jacket. I curl my hair a bit and wear the elephant pendant necklace that Xavier gave me for my 21st birthday last year. I check the time, it's only 11:30. I decide to visit Beth since I heard she wasn't feeling well last night. I grab my bag and lock my door. I knock on her door, and she calls out to come in. I walk into Beth's room and see her all wrapped in blankets on her bed. Hey, I say, sitting down beside her. What's up? She replies, sitting up a little. I think I should be asking you that, I respond, and she gives a small laugh. I have food poisoning. I went out with Wyatt and ate something bad. He's taking care of me today, she explains, and I smile. That's Wyatt for you, I say, and she agrees with a nod. How long have you two been together now? I ask, and she sits up straight. We've been together since secondary school, you know that, she says. I do. I've known Wyatt since we were babies and you since year 7, I reply, making her giggle. I remember how we met, she says, and I laugh at the memory. Yes, I was with Wyatt and you thought we were dating, so you came over and told us we looked like a cute couple, I explain. She nods, recalling it. I was so embarrassed when you both laughed and said you weren't dating, she adds, just as Wyatt walks in. Honey, I'm home, he calls. He enters the room and sees me on the bed. Squidge, he says, pulling me into a hug. Heya, I reply with a warm smile. Beth says, Hannah and I were just talking about how we met. Wyatt sits down and shifts Beth onto his lap while I get comfortable again. We looked cute together, Squidge, Wyatt says, and I agree with him. Yeah, we did. How many times did people think we were dating? I ask. He shrugs and answers, I don't know. At least 100 times. I smile as I check my phone and see it's noon. Okay, I need to go. I'll stop by tomorrow to see how you are, I say, standing up. Bye, Hannah. Beth says as I give her a hug. See you, Wyatt, I say, but he stands up too. I'll walk you out. Beth mentions she's hungry, and I laugh. All right, then. He slips his arm around my waist, and we head down the stairs. When we step outside, I spot Tyler leaning against a wall. Bye, Wyatt, take care, I say, waving before walking over to Tyler. Sorry I'm late. I was with my friend and her boyfriend. She's not feeling well, I explain, and he nods. Was that her boyfriend? He asks, pointing at Wyatt, who is getting on his motorbike. Yeah, we've known each other for a long time, which is why we left like that, I share, and he looks a bit more relaxed. So, what do you have planned for our outing? I ask, and he grins. It's a surprise, so come with me, he replies, standing tall. I link my arm with his as we enter the garage. Pick a car. We can use anyone you like today, Tyler says, and I'm amazed. There are at least 20 different cars here. Which ones belong to you? I ask, remembering he has a lot of money. All of them, he answers simply. I scan around and spot my favorite car, the 2014 Lexus ES, and run over to it as Tyler chuckles behind me. So you like cars? He asks, joining me. Yeah, this is my dream car, but I could never afford it, I tell him, and he opens the door for me. Well, get in and we'll go, he says, and I hop inside. Can you tell me where we're going now? I ask, and Tyler shakes his head. Sorry, it's a secret, my dear, he says, and I blush at the nickname. We'll be there in about 5 minutes, so relax, Tyler assures me, resting his hand on my leg. I smile and gaze out the window. We're here, Tyler announces, stopping the car. I look out and see we've arrived at an amusement park. How did you know this is my ideal date? I ask as Tyler opens my door. I may have asked Xavier for some tips, he admits, and I smile back. Well, I tell Xavier everything, I laugh, and he nods. As we walk toward the ticket office, I link my arm with Tyler's, and he grins. So, where to first? He asks after helping me with my wristband. I want to go on that one, I say, pointing at a water ride, and Tyler chuckles. You're so different from other girls I've taken out, he comments as we head to the ride. After enjoying the ride, we sit down for a moment to chat. When was your last date? I ask, and he looks a little shy. I haven't been on a date in about a year. The last romantic moment I had was months ago, he shares, and I'm taken aback. Don't take this the wrong way, I say, and he nods. I thought you were a big player with new dates all the time. Not that bothered about being in a relationship, I say, and Tyler pouts, which makes him look cute. I do want a relationship. People see me as uncaring, and I've tried to believe that too. When you're alone, you start to wonder if anyone actually wants to be with you, he says. I give him a comforting smile. I understand, I reply, and he smiles back at me. We've spent nearly 3 hours talking, and I'm getting to know Tyler really well. I feel bad for thinking he was uncaring. He's actually very kind, and I find myself getting closer to him. It's only 5 p.m. Do you want to take a walk by the coast? Tyler asks as he stands up. I nod. Sure, I haven't been there in a long time. He smiles and takes my hand, and we head to the car. Hannah? Tyler asks as we stroll along the walkway. I need to tell you something, he says, stopping. Did I do something wrong? I ask, but he shakes his head. Not like that, he assures me. I asked you out today because I have liked you for a while. Seeing you with my brother made me a bit upset. I don't like it when you're with other guys. I want you to be with me, he explains. Are you asking me to be your girlfriend? I ask, and he nods shyly. Then my answer is yes. I am yours, I say, and he looks relieved. He hugs me tightly, and I let out a little gasp. He chuckles. That's great. If you had said no, I'd have been stuck in the penthouse all day, he jokes, and I laugh. How will we handle this at work, Tyler? I ask. I can't just call you Tyler at work, I point out. He nods. I'll talk to your boss about it. I thank him. Do you want to come to the penthouse or go back to your dorm? Tyler asks when we return to the hotel. If you don't mind, I'd like to go with you, I say. He smiles. You're my girlfriend. I would never mind. But first, I lean in and give him a quick kiss. He lifts me up and sits me on his lap. "Ready to head up?" Tyler asks, a bit breathless. I nod and he opens the car door. He doesn't set me down but carries me with my legs around his waist and my arms around his neck. "You can put me down now, Ty," I say in the elevator, but he shakes his head. "If I do, I can't do this," he says, leaning closer playfully. "Good point." I grin and he laughs. The elevator doors open and finally he sets me down but keeps his arm around my shoulders. "What should I wear?" I ask as we walk to Tyler's suite. The penthouse has a big living area, a kitchen, and a bathroom. There are 4 other bedrooms off the main area, plus a spiral staircase leading to Tyler's suite. His suite has a smaller living space, a kitchen with just a few things, and sliding doors showing a desk with a computer. To the right is his bedroom and a bathroom. "You can wear these," Tyler says, handing me some of his clothes. "Thanks," I say before heading to the bathroom to change. When I return to the bedroom, I see Tyler lying on the bed looking cozy. I lay down beside him and he pulls the covers over us. I turn to face him and he places one arm under my head and the other around my waist. "Good night, Tyler," I say, closing my eyes. "Good night, Hannah. Sleep well," he replies softly. A few moments later, I drift off to sleep, looking peaceful. I can't believe she wants to be with me. I was surprised when she said yes. She knows what people say about me, and she told me she thought the same until today. She is the first girl who wants to be with me for who I really am, and not for my money. She has known my brother for a long time, so I trust that she is genuine. I give her a soft kiss on the forehead before I close my eyes and drift off to sleep. Hannah's point of view. I just woke up and Tyler is already up because he's not next to me. I get up and see him working in his office. He looks at me and smiles. "Morning," he says, and I walk over to him. "When did you get up?" I ask, giving him a light touch on the shoulder. "About an hour ago. You looked so peaceful asleep and I didn't want to wake you," he replies. I look at the clock and see it's 9 a.m. "Oh no, I need to get to work," I say. As I start to leave, Tyler gently holds my waist. "You have the morning off. There's a meeting at 1 o'clock that you need to attend," he explains, and I nod. "Okay, I'll probably leave around 11:30 to change at my dorm," I mention, but Tyler shakes his head. "Nope. Jeremy got you a clean uniform so you can get ready here," he says, and I nod again. "Okay. I'm going downstairs to watch TV," I say as I head for the stairs. "I'll be down in a bit." "I love you," he says, and I smile. "I love you too," I reply. He goes back to his work and I head down to the living area. I turn on the TV and sit on the couch. A few moments later, 4 people walk in through the front door and see me. For some reason, 2 of them share amused looks. "So this is the new recruit," one says. "She seems nice. Think the boss will let me hang out with her later?" Another responds as he walks over to me. I stand up and take a step back toward the staircase. "I don't know you," I say, surprised by how confident I sound. "We don't know you either," the third person replies, and I roll my eyes. "If I don't know you, how will you know me?" Suddenly he rushes toward me, but before he can get close, I find myself lifted into the air. When I'm set down again, I see Tyler giving the third guy a serious look. "Jet, that wasn't appropriate. Don't scare her," he says. So that guy is Jet. I'm so confused, I admit, and Tyler laughs softly. "Well, I will explain," he says, leading me back to the couch. "Wow, boss, you're actually going to tell her everything?" "We don't even know this girl," the first guy comments. "I do, Robson. She is my girlfriend," Tyler says, and Robson looks surprised. "That's Hannah," he replies, and Tyler nods. "Wow, how did you get her?" Jet asks, and I laugh. "Can someone please tell me who you all are and why you're here?" I ask. Tyler nods. "I will because you're going to listen to me," he says, sitting down on the couch and inviting me to sit beside him. "First of all, these guys live in those 4 bedrooms, Tyler says, pointing to the rooms I saw last night. "Do they have names?" I ask, and Tyler chuckles. He points to the first guy who spoke. "That's Robson Ward," he says, and Robson crosses his arms. "That's Leon Reed," he says, pointing to the second guy. "You're the guy who showed interest in me," I say, and Leon nods. That was before I knew who you were, he says, and I nod, understanding. That's Jet Cooper, Tyler continues, pointing to the guy who reached out earlier. And the one sitting there looking relaxed is Shay Bell, he adds, pointing to a guy in the corner who seems indifferent but okay. Babe, do you know about the party held every month where many famous people come? Tyler asks, and I nod. Yes, I have worked it a few times. It's the Webwood Echo Ball, right? I inquire, and Tyler nods. Well, that is a cover. My friends and I manage unique auctions. My eyes widen in surprise. Are you serious? I ask, and he nods. All right, but I need you to explain, I say, and Tyler agrees, while the others look surprised. What's going on? Why aren't you all more shocked? It's a secret auction, Leon comments, and I shrug. If there's a good reason for it, I'm fine with it, I reply, and they all nod in agreement. These auctions have been happening since the hotel opened. Most of our guests at the Web come to these events. We keep it quiet because we handle special items that can be hard to find. We do it to assist. Some items have been lost, so we try to return them to their owners or find new good homes for them. Other items are just interesting collectibles, Tyler explains, and I nod, understanding. Who else knows about these auctions? I ask, looking at Tyler. Jet answers, me, Tyler, Robson, Leon, Shay, Jeremy Frunter, and now you. I glance at Tyler, surprised. Jeremy knows? I ask, and he nods. Yes, he needs to know, but if he tells anyone else, he'll be out, he clarifies. Do you all have specific jobs in these auctions? I ask, focusing on Tyler. Yes, he replies. I'm in charge. I organize these events and make sure everything goes well. Sometimes the guys call me boss, but not all the time, he adds, and I nod. Leon is an artist, he continues, turning to Leon. I know you, Leon Reed, the great artist, I say, and Leon nods. That's me. I check all the paintings or art pieces that will be sold at the auctions to ensure they are real, he explains, and I lean toward Tyler a bit more. Shay is a detective. He doesn't say much unless you know him well, and then he opens up. He gives us helpful information, so if the police are planning to investigate, he will let us know, Tyler explains, and Shay nods at us. Have you heard of the Sly Fox? Tyler asks, and I reply with a nod. The Sly Fox. A world-famous thief, charming, but has never been caught, I say, and Robson laughs. Happy to know some people know about me, he says with a grin. How do you think all the items get to the auctions? He asks, playfully. I get most of them. I haven't been caught yet, and I don't plan to be, he says, and I chuckle. Good luck with that, I respond. Lastly, Jet, Tyler says. Have you heard of the Dark Rain Gang, Hannah? Jet asks, and I nod. Well, you're looking at the head of that gang, he says, pointing to himself. I bring in the help. My friends are nearby to assist if needed, and I'm also your boyfriend's best friend, he mentions, and I smile. We have a strong friendship, I reply, and Tyler laughs. Can I ask one more question? I say, and Tyler nods. Why did Rob say, that's Hannah, when you mentioned I was your girlfriend? I ask, and Tyler blushes a little. I said that because Tyler never stops talking about you. He was always mentioning how he wanted to ask you out, and clearly he did, Robson explains, and I nod. I don't think you could do much better, Rob, I say, and Tyler laughs. I have a question now, Tyler says, and I turn to him. Do you want to help with the auctions, or do you want to stay out of that world? He asks. I smile. I want to help with the auctions. If you want me to be around for a while, then I should be involved, I answer, and Tyler smiles back. I think you'll have some good ideas for the auctions. I suggest working with me, but you'll still have your regular job, he says, and I nod. That sounds good, I respond, but Shay is looking at me like I'm from another planet. Is something wrong, Shay? I ask, and Tyler turns his attention to him. I just don't see why you are okay with all this. Most people would have left by now, Shay says, and I chuckle a bit. Shay, I'm not like most people. I'm dating him, and my best friend is his brother, so normally I wouldn't know them both, I say, and Shay laughs. You have a point, miss? He asks. Kaiser, I respond, and Jet looks at me quickly. Say that again, he says. Kaiser, that's my last name, I reply, and Jet takes out his phone as if to make a call. A few minutes later, Jet returns looking surprised. What happened to your parents, Hannah? Jet asks. I let out a sigh. They both passed away 3 years ago in a car accident, I explain, and he nods. Do you have any siblings? He asks. I nod. Yes, I have a brother, but he was adopted. I've only seen pictures, I say. He nods to show he understands. What were your parents' names? He asks. Matthew and Nicole Kaiser, I answer, and Jet freezes. Mom and Dad, he whispers. I look at him, confused. I was adopted when I was young. My birth parents couldn't care for me and my little sister, so I was put up for adoption, he continues. I nod in understanding. My mom and dad were Nicole and Matthew Kaiser, he adds. That means you're my brother, I say, and he nods. I get up from the couch, hurry over to him, and hug him. I can't believe it's you, Jet says, looking into my eyes. You have mom's eyes, he comments, and I smile. You have dad's, I reply, a tear rolling down my cheek. I never thought I would meet you, I say, and he laughs. Well, here I am. That also means you are part of the Dark Rain gang, he says, and Tyler pulls me away from Jet and close to him. No way is Hannah getting into fighting. She's too innocent, Tyler says, and Jet shakes his head. Ty, you're my best friend, but she is my sister. The sister I've been looking for since finding out I was adopted, he says. Tyler sighs. Fine. She can be involved, and I trust you to keep her safe, he says, and Jet nods. I will always be there. Just so you know, I support the relationship, he says with a laugh, and Tyler laughs too. What time is it? I ask Tyler, and he checks his watch. It's 12:30, he says, and I jump up. I need to go to the meeting, I say, heading toward the stairs that lead to Tyler's suite. Uniform is in the bathroom, Tyler calls as I run up the stairs. Well, time to start my workday. Hannah's POV. I have just changed and need to leave now. I grab my phone, put it in my pocket, and rush down the stairs. Bye, Jay, I say, giving Jet a quick goodbye as I head out. See you, sis. Have fun, he replies, and I walk over to Tyler. Should I come back here after work or go home? I ask him. He hands me a pager, an elevator key card, and a penthouse key card. The pager is for us to call you if we need you to come quickly. Don't rush, he says, and I clip it to my belt. Because it is a private elevator, you need the key card. The penthouse one is for when you want to come here any time. Treat it like your own space, he explains, and I nod, placing both key cards in my pocket. I'll see you later then, I say, and he smiles softly. I love you, he says, and I smile back. I love you too, I reply before walking out the door and heading to my meeting. I'm sorry I'm late, I say as I enter the meeting room and see everyone seated there. It's fine, Hannah. Sit down with Elijah, Jeremy says, and I nod. I know this is sudden, but we have some staff changes, Jeremy says, capturing my attention. From today, Hannah will be responsible for cleaning the VIP rooms, which includes the penthouse, he adds with a smile. I nod in agreement. What? Leanna exclaims, standing up. That's my job, she protests, but Jeremy shakes his head. I'm sorry, Leanna, but it's decided. He mentions that Hannah has been doing a great job and deserves this new role. Leanna sighs and sits back down, shooting a glare at me. I didn't ask for this. Hannah, please stay behind after everyone else leaves, Jeremy requests, and I nod. Elijah nudges me and grins. Great job, that's an amazing promotion, he says, and I smile back. Thanks, Elijah, you'd be great at it too, I reply. He chuckles, saying, Not so sure. Do you want to talk, Jeremy? I ask once the others have left. He nods. Yes, Mr. Wood called this morning and said you would be off until this meeting. He also mentioned he wants you to clean the penthouse now and no one else. But I also want you to clean the other VIP guest rooms, he explains. I nod. Of course, Jeremy, I say, and he smiles. You haven't called me that in a while, Han, he notes. You haven't called me Han in a while either, I reply, and we share a smile. It's strange how close we used to be, he observes. I agree, saying, I know, we're still close. But have you found someone special? I ask, and he blushes. I'm guessing that means yes, so tell me, I say, sitting on the edge of the table. Jeremy sits next to me, still blushing. Remember when I said I had feelings for you? He asks. I nod, and he continues. I thought about my feelings, and I met someone named Nev. My eyes widen. Jeremy, you're gay? I ask, and he nods shyly. That's great, I say, pulling him into a quick hug, and he laughs. I'm glad you're okay with it, he says. Why wouldn't I be? I bet he's really nice, I reply. He nods, saying, he really is. We were friends at first, but I asked him out 6 months ago. I smile at this. What about you, Han? Anyone in your life? He inquires, and I confirm with a nod. Well, I can tell you now. Remember the guy I mentioned that I liked? I say, and he nods eagerly. He asked me to be his girlfriend yesterday, I say, and Jeremy's face lights up. I'm so happy for you, he exclaims, and I smile back. Just then, my pager goes off and Jeremy looks at me. I need to go. We'll talk later, I say as I rise and head to the private elevator. When I reach the penthouse, I see everyone gathered in the living area. Who paged me? I ask, and Shay raises his hand. That was me, he says. I walk over to Tyler. Why? I ask. He points at the TV, which shows different parts of the hotel on multiple screens. We saw you with Fronter, he explains as I take a seat on the sofa. I've known him since I began working here, I say. He liked me before, but we never dated. Tyler looks relieved. Was that really a reason to call me up here? I wonder, and Shay shrugs. The boss looked really stressed, and we thought you could help, he says, nodding towards Tyler, who has his head resting against mine. Hey, sis, I call to Hannah, and she turns to me. Will you tell me about our parents? I ask. She smiles and starts to get up, but Tyler gently holds her back. I want to talk to Jet, she says, but Tyler shakes his head. You're staying here, Hannah, he insists. I chuckle and tell him, I just want to chat about our parents. Tyler sighs. Fine, but she'll come back afterward, he concedes, allowing her to get up. She walks over and sits next to me. Babe, I'm just a couple of steps away, she says, and Tyler pouts a bit. Do you want to hear about Mom and Dad? Hannah asks, looking at me, and I nod. They weren't very rich, but we got by. Dad was a pilot, so he was away a lot, and Mom worked in an office, which meant she came home late. I spent a lot of time with Dad, so Mom was sometimes a bit left out, she explains, and I smile. Did you spend a lot of time alone, Han? I ask, and she shakes her head. Not really. You know Beth Saunders, who works here? She asks, and I nod. Yeah, but she doesn't say much, I reply, and she smiles. I met Beth when I started year 7 in school, and we became close. Then, as I was finishing school, I met Xavier at an open day for college, she shares. I want to know about the gang, Hannah says, as she sits cross-legged on the couch. There isn't much to say. My adoptive parents didn't have any children, so I was the only one in the gang, I explain, and Hannah nods. I called my adoptive dad earlier to see if you could join the gang. He said you could if you wanted, but even if you don't want to be involved, it's good to learn how to defend yourself, just in case, I explain. Hannah nods again. I'm curious about the gang, but I don't really want to join. I will train, though, she says, and I smile. You're definitely my sister, I reply, and she giggles. I want to cuddle, Tyler says, and Hannah rolls her eyes playfully. Oh, the joys of Tyler Wood, she replies, standing up. Thanks, sis, I say, and she turns around before walking over to Tyler. For what? She asks. For being here, I say, and she smiles. I will always be here, she assures me as she walks to Tyler. I watch them together and wish for a bond like that. I know they have only been dating for a day, but it's clear he cares about her. When I found out I was adopted, Tyler was right there with me. He's been helping me find my little sister, and now that I know who she is, I want to keep her close. I understand why I was adopted, and I accept it. I can't imagine how my parents managed with a 2-year-old boy and an infant. They made a good choice, and I'm just glad we are back together. Hannah's POV. It's been about a week since I started dating Tyler, and it's been wonderful. Jeremy still doesn't know, but I think I might tell him soon. I haven't spent much time back at my dorm. I only go back to grab clean clothes, and Tyler really doesn't like when I leave. I stretch out, but bump into something hard. I turn to see Tyler sleeping peacefully. Normally, I would gently wake him, but today, I want to have some fun. I sit up and playfully sit on him, grabbing my pillow and giving him a light tap. His eyes pop open, and before I can react, he playfully turns the situation around on me. I grab his pillow and gently hit him back, and soon we're having a playful pillow fight. "Stop!" I shout while laughing. Suddenly, the door swings open, and we look over to see all the guys standing there looking confused. As Tyler sees them, I give him another light tap with the pillow, causing him to roll off me. "Oh, it's on!" he laughs. I jump off the bed and hide behind Jet. "Don't hide behind your brother," Tyler teases, and Leon tosses me the pillow I dropped. "Jet, go!" I shout, and Jet lifts me onto his back and runs down the stairs with Tyler chasing after us. "Why are my best friend and girlfriend teaming up against me?" Tyler asks, and Robson starts laughing. "You know she's still close to him, right?" Leon comments, pointing at me and Jet. I wave, which makes Robson laugh even more. "Baby, I want a kiss," Tyler says playfully, and I give Jet a quick kiss on the cheek. I hear a camera click and see that Shay took the picture. "Shay, let me see that," I call, and he comes over. He shows me the photo. It's just me kissing Jet's cheek while he looks surprised. "Can you send it to me?" I ask, and he nods. "Sure, kiddo," he replies, and I giggle. He's been calling me that for the past week, even though I'm only a couple of years younger than him. "I don't want to go to work," I say, and Tyler chuckles from his place on the bed. "You clean here, so you'll see at least one of us. If you really want to skip work, find Jeremy and let him know you're coming up here," he says, and I nod. "Well then, I need to go. I should probably make it for lunch. For some reason, I never get up until 11, I say, and Tyler smiles innocently. "What? I like my sleep," he says, and I roll my eyes. "Whatever," I reply, and he sticks his tongue out at me. "Baby, can you page Jeremy for me?" Tyler asks, pointing to his pager on his desk. "Sure, but why?" I ask, and Tyler just taps his nose, telling me to mind my own business. A few minutes later, Jeremy appears at Tyler's office door. "Hannah?" he asks, looking confused. "Hi, Jez," I say, and Tyler comes into his office, wrapping his arms around my waist. "So this is the guy you were telling me about?" he asks, and I nod. "Yes," I say, and Jeremy turns to Tyler. "Mr. Wood, may I ask why you paged me?" Jeremy asks, and Tyler rests his head on my shoulder. "Start planning for the web. The auctions begin tomorrow and last for a week," he says, and Jeremy looks surprised. "Mr. Wood, does Hannah know?" he asks, and Tyler chuckles. "Of course she does. She is my girlfriend," he says, and Jeremy nods. "I'll begin the preparations. You're planning the auctions yourself, right, Mr. Wood?" Jeremy asks, and Tyler nods, lifting his head. "Yes, along with Hannah," he says. I mention that I will be working in the afternoon and having lunch in the staff canteen. Jeremy acknowledges this, and I say goodbye before he walks out. "See you tonight," Tyler says, and I remind him that I need to go back to my dorm at some point. Tyler agrees, adding that he will be staying over. I respond playfully that I will see him tonight. After a brief moment, I head out, saying goodbye to my friends as I leave. I walk down to the lobby in the private elevator and see Beth at reception. "Beth," I call out, and she turns to me. "Hey, Hannah," she replies, walking over. I ask if she wants to grab some lunch, and she agrees, linking her arm with mine. "What's up, ladies?" Elijah asks, sitting down at our table. "Hey, Eli," I reply, and he greets me warmly. "How's Wyatt, Beth?" Elijah asks, noticing Beth's flushed cheeks. "Well, something happened," she replies, showing me her left hand, which now has a beautiful engagement ring. "OMG!" Elijah exclaims. "He proposed?" I ask, and she nods excitedly. "When?" Elijah presses. "Yesterday. We were just watching TV at his house when he asked," she says, her eyes shining with happiness. "Yes, my two best friends are getting married," Elijah declares. Indeed, Elijah calls us best friends. He met Beth, Wyatt, and me in year 7, and we all grew up together. We've all come to work at the Wood Echo Hotel, except for Wyatt. He is studying to be a vet. "Will you be my maid of honor, Hannah?" Beth asks, and I immediately pull her into a joyful hug. "Of course, I can't wait," I exclaim, bouncing with excitement. "Calm down, Hannah," I hear a voice say from behind me. "Hey, Rob," I respond, and Robson smiles at us. "What about me?" I hear another voice, and I see Leon stepping out from behind Robson. "Hey, Leo," I say, and he laughs. "Ooh, a nickname," he teases, and I smile. "Of course," I reply, feeling happy to be with friends. Leanna joins us and asks, "How do you know Mr. Ward and Mr. Reed?" "I clean the penthouse. I met them while working," I explain, crossing my arms. "But you should speak to our guests more formally," she replies, proud of herself. "What's her name, Hannah?" Robson asks. "That's Leanna Driscoll," I tell him, and Leon chuckles again. "What's funny, Leo?" I whisper. "Leanna has a sister named Layla, and she tried to get my attention," he whispers back, making me stifle a giggle. "Miss Driscoll, none of our guests like our maid to address us formally. That is why Hannah uses our first names," Robson says with a smile. I hear Leon whisper, "Don't look at her like that. The boss won't like it." "Leo, you need to work on your whispering," I say, and he laughs. "If Hannah can use your first names, I can too," Leanna argues, crossing her arms. "I'm afraid you're not our maid, Miss Driscoll," Robson replies. Leanna shakes her head. "I'm the head maid," she insists, but Robson simply shrugs. "That doesn't change anything," he says. Leon reaches for my hand and pulls me into a hug. "Go straight to your dorm tonight. The boss will be there," he whispers, and I nod. "Is everything okay?" I ask softly. "Yes, Hannah. He just wants some time with you. He can't do that with us here," he explains, and I giggle. Soon the two guests leave the canteen, making everyone look at me in surprise. I sit back down, continuing my lunch as if nothing happened. To me, nothing did. They are my friends visiting, and I have grown close to all the guys, especially Jet, since he is my brother. Leon is also fun to be around and always makes jokes. His art is amazing, too. He took me to his studio a couple of days ago. "What was that?" Leanna asks as she approaches my table. "Not much. Just some VIPs visiting me," I reply, and she scoffs. "Why would they visit you?" I stand up. "They aren't here for you," I respond, crossing my arms. "You can't speak to me like that. I'm your superior," she says. If only she knew. "Watch me, Leanna. Just watch," I declare, then walk out of the canteen and toward the private elevator. "Hannah!" I hear Elijah call after me, but I keep walking. I step into the elevator and wait for it to reach the penthouse. "Tyler!" I call as I walk in. I hear footsteps and see Tyler rushing down the stairs. "What?" "What's wrong?" he asks, coming up to me. "I can't stand Leanna," I say, and he laughs. "Is that the big news?" he questions, and I nod. "Since I started working here, she has made things hard for me and made me feel bad. I don't know why." I explain, "She's my superior, so I can't say much, but it feels awful. Every time I feel good about myself, she finds a way to bring me down." "That's it. I'm going to talk to her," Tyler says. "T.I., wait!" I shout, and he turns around. "Can I join you?" I ask, and he nods, taking my hand. "I'll call Jeremy to bring her here, then we can head to your dorm," Tyler says as we walk up the stairs. "Okay," I reply, and he smiles. Tyler's thoughts. "I didn't know when Hannah came here, she was going to tell me about Leanna. Leanna used to work in the penthouse and rarely spoke to us. It was surprising how many times Robson and Leon tried to talk to her, only to be ignored. I had no idea that Leanna was making things hard for Hannah, which really frustrates me. I know Leanna is in charge and Hannah wants to keep her job, so she doesn't say anything. But now that we are together, Hannah has more confidence because, if we marry, she will help me run this hotel." "Jeremy, please call Leanna to my office," I say on the phone. "Sure, mister." "Would," Jeremy replies before ending the call. "Hannah, come here," I say, and she walks over to my desk, sitting down in front of me. "What's up, Buttercup?" she asks, and I can't help but laugh. "You're cute," I say, and she beams. "I know," she replies playfully. "I want to tell you something. Do I get a reward?" I ask, and she shrugs. "Depends on what you want," she answers with a teasing smile. I pull her onto my lap for a moment of closeness, and she says, "So that's what you wanted?" Just as we share a smile, someone knocks on the door. Thankfully, I had closed the sliding doors so the person cannot see us. Hannah gets up and heads to the bedroom, probably to fix her hair. "Come in," I say, and the doors open. Leanna walks in. "You wanted to see me, Mr. Wood?" she asks, and I nod. "Yes. I've been told that you have been speaking rudely to Miss Hannah Kaiser, I say, and Leanna shakes her head. I have not done anything like that, Mr. Wood. I am just trying to be helpful, she replies. I lean back in my chair, and Hannah returns to the office. Hannah, you should be working, not wandering around, Leanna says, and Hannah stays quiet. Answer me, Hannah, Leanna insists, but Hannah doesn't respond. Anyway, Mr. Wood. Leanna starts to say again, I'm sorry, Miss Driscoll, but I've heard differently, I tell her, and Hannah approaches me. I'm going to go to your living area, she quietly mentions, and I nod. She walks out, and I turn to Leanna. If I hear about you being disrespectful to Miss Kaiser again, you could lose your job, I warn her. Leanna crosses her arms. Mr. Wood, I have never been mean to Hannah. I wouldn't do that, she insists. I acknowledge her words. Just remember my warning. You can go now, I say, and she leaves. I step out of the office to find Hannah, but overhear her talking to Leanna. You shouldn't have said anything, Hannah. I am your superior, Leanna says. I didn't say anything, Leanna. I know you are in charge, but I'm tired of how you and your friends treat me, Hannah replies, her voice getting louder. I quickly step out of the office. Hannah stands up to face Leanna. I didn't say anything, Leanna. I have no reason to. I know you are my superior, but I'm tired of being treated like this, she says firmly. I feel a sudden tension in the air. Leanna just glares at her, and then I see something happen. You can't mistreat her, I say. Tyler walks out of his office and stands next to me. What happened? He asks, noticing Hannah's distress. I don't know, Mr. Wood. Hannah did this to herself for attention. Leanna smirks. I don't get how Hannah could have done that to herself. She wears a ring and it would show, Tyler replies, leaving Leanna speechless. Don't fire her, Ty. Just give her a warning, I whisper to him, and he sighs. All right, but next time she's out of here, he whispers back, and I nod. You're lucky, Miss Driscoll. Seriously, you should leave, Tyler says as Leanna rushes down the stairs. Do you want to head to your dorm now or just stay here? Tyler asks, and I smile. Can we go to my dorm? You haven't seen it yet, I reply, and Tyler agrees. Let's go, he says, putting an arm around my shoulder. See you tomorrow night, Jay, I call as I step out the door. Okay, sis, take care, he responds, and I smile. You know we will, Tyler adds, and I hear Jet complain. I was joking, he says, making me laugh. So we don't need to worry, I say, and Jet rolls his eyes. Just go, he says, pointing toward the door. I like it here, Tyler says, sitting down on my bed. I'm glad, but compared to the penthouse, this place is small, I reply, laying down beside him. Believe it or not, sometimes I prefer a small space, he shares, and I turn to look at him. It's closer to the bed, you know, he adds with a playful smile, and I roll my eyes. You and your silly thoughts, Mr. Wood, I say, and he laughs. But you care about me anyway, he replies, and I nod. I do, I confirm, and he grins. Hannah's POV. Hey, Hannah, Jeremy says as I start to leave the meeting room. Are you going to meet someone? He asks, and I nod just as a guy walks in. He has dark hair and bright green eyes. Hi, I'm Nev, he introduces himself, holding out his hand. I shake it, and Jeremy smiles. So this is the famous Hannah, Nev remarks, and I smile back. That's me. The best friend of this goofball, I say, pointing to Jeremy. You know you love me, he teases, and I shrug. I do, but I also love my boyfriend, I say, making Jeremy laugh. Just then, my pager goes off. Speak of the devil, I say, checking the pager. Looks like Tyler needs me for something. It was great to meet you, I tell Nev, and he nods. Jez, I'll see you later, I add, then head to the private elevator. What do you need? I just left an hour ago, I think, as I walk into the penthouse. Nice to see you too, Robson says, and Jet chuckles. Hey guys, I greet them, and they smile. The boss is in his office. He wants to talk to you, Leon says, and I nod. Okay then, I'll speak to you later, I reply. I wave to Jet, and Robson asks, What about me? I roll my eyes, kiss my palm, and blow it to him. Happy? I ask, and he nods. I just left an hour ago, I say as I enter Tyler's office. I hear him laugh. I know, and I missed you, but we need to talk, he says as I approach his desk. What's going on? I ask, and he shakes his head. Is that your catchphrase now? He asks. I shrug. It just fits sometimes, I say, and he smiles. Tonight is the first night of the web, and I want you there with me, he says, and I smile back. Are you sure? My coworkers will be there, I say. Tyler shakes his head. I don't care about your coworkers. I own this hotel. I want you there, he insists, and I nod. All right, I'll be there, I say. He stands up. I'm taking you shopping, he says, trying to pull me up, but I stay sitting. I don't want you spending money on me, Ty, I reply. He sighs and crouches down. I want to buy you something nice, he says, and I giggle. Never say nice again, that sounds strange, I joke, and he laughs. Change into something more casual, then we can go, he suggests, and I nod. I head to the bedroom and quickly put on jeans, one of Tyler's t-shirts, and my sneakers. Let's go, I say, and Tyler wraps an arm around my shoulder. We take the elevator down, and Tyler leads me to the hotel mall. Can you help me pick something? I'm not great with fashion, I ask. He nods and says, Sure, I'll pick 2 outfits for you to choose from. If you like both, then you can have them. I shake my head. Don't get me too many. He laughs. I'd buy you everything in the world if I could. We walk around looking at different dresses. Do you want to try these on and show me? Tyler asks as he hands me a couple of dresses and some shoes. I nod. Sure. I'll be right out, and I head to the changing room. Hannah comes out in the second dress I picked for her. The first one was a bit too big, so I see why she skipped it. The dress fits her perfectly. It's a bit snug, but also flows nicely, and it looks great on her. It's made of white lace with silver decorations. I also chose silver shoes to match. What do you think? She asks as she twirls around. I like it. It looks good on you, I reply while standing up. We just need a bag and I want to get you something else. She nods. I'll change back now, she says, before heading back to the changing room. A few minutes later, she comes out with the dress and shoes in hand. What do we do now? She asks as I take the items from her. Can you put the dress in a box and the shoes in another box, please? I ask a shop assistant who nods. Of course, Mr. Wood. Would you like them sent to your suite for tonight? She asks, and I confirm. Yes, that would be great, thank you. Hannah then shows me a small silver clutch with a lace design. What do you think of this? She asks. It's nice. I think it will go well with your dress, I reply, and she smiles. What else do you want to get from me? She asks, linking her arm with mine. I know you wear a ring on your right middle finger, I mention, and she holds up her hand. Would you like a new one? That one looks a bit worn, I suggest, and she beams. It's actually one of those inexpensive rings from a discount store. Wyatt gave it to me for my 16th birthday. I've never taken it off, but I'd love a new one. I spot a silver ring with small diamonds around the rim. How about this one? I ask. It's beautiful, she replies, and I turn to the shop assistant. Can we have this one, please? I ask. She hands it to me in a box. Thank you. Put it on my card, I say as she processes the payment. Hannah's perspective. I can't believe Tyler spent so much on me. I'm not sure I'll ever get used to this level of wealth, but if anyone says I'm with Tyler just for his money, I'll stand up for myself. I should start getting ready now. After shopping, Tyler took me to eat. The hotel has many great shops and restaurants. I curl my hair, letting it fall down my back. I change into the dress I picked out earlier and wear the shoes. I really like the dress. Tyler has a great taste in fashion. I put on the ring he bought for me. It's really pretty. I grab my clutch and put my phone inside. I don't usually wear makeup. As I walk down the stairs, I see the guys in their suits. Jet, who is more dressed up than usual, says, "Wow, sis, you look stunning." He takes my hand to help me down the last few steps. Thanks, Jay. You look great 2-different suit today, I reply. He smiles and adjusts his jacket. But Hannah, though, Robson chimes in, and I turn to him. I still don't understand, boss. How did you meet her? Leon asks. Tyler puts his arm around me. I honestly don't know, he says with a warm smile. Shall we? Tyler offers his arm. Yes, let's go, I reply, linking my arm with his. Let's go! Tyler shouts, and we head to the elevator. It's funny. Every time I've come to the web, I've been working, I say, and Robson jumps in. This time you can really enjoy yourself, Han, he says, making me laugh. Sure, Rob, we can dance, I say, and he chuckles. I get to dance with the prettiest girl here, he says, and I feel myself blushing. And guess what? She's with me, Tyler adds with a big grin. We're in an elevator, Leon shouts. That's my sister, Jet exclaims, and we all laugh. I can't stand public displays of affection, Shay complains, and I roll my eyes. Oh, come on. Rob, you're with a different girl every night. Shay, what girl would want to be with you? You dislike work. I smile at Leo. You're cute, so I can't say anything. Jet, you're my brother, so no. Shay frowns at me. I had a girlfriend once, he says, and Robson wraps an arm around him. Yeah, but we never met her, he replies, and Leon adds, that means he wasn't that serious about her. Shay sighs. She just wasn't right for me, he explains. I give his cheek a friendly poke, and Tyler pulls me closer afterward. We walk into the main room, which is full of important guests. I don't know many of them, but I think I will meet more tonight because I'm with Mr. Wood. Mr. Wood, someone says from behind Tyler. We turn around, and I see a man about Tyler's age, possibly in his 30s. Mr. K. Tyler says as the man approaches us. It's nice to see you again. I've been looking forward to this event, he says, and Tyler nods. Yes, I have extended the Wood Echo Ball to last 2 weeks at the request of a few of the guests, he explains, and the man smiles back. And who is this lovely lady? He asks, and I smile. I'm Hannah Kaiser. Nice to meet you, I say, reaching out my hand. He shakes it gently. I am Darwin K. He replies, letting go of my hand. Would you like a drink, sir? A staff member asks Mr. K. And he shakes his head. Mr. Wood, would you like something to drink? She asks, turning to Tyler. No, thank you, he replies. Then I freeze as I recognize a familiar face. It's Leanna. What are you doing here? She asks. I look to Tyler. Hannah is with me tonight, Miss Driscoll. I suggest you leave Hannah alone, he tells her. Leanna just shrugs. I'm sorry, Mr. Wood, but Hannah is just a maid, she says. Jeremy steps in from behind her. Leanna, if Mr. Wood has invited Hannah, then she belongs here. It is not your place to say who he can bring to his own event, Jeremy states firmly. Leanna starts to protest, but Jeremy cuts her off. Move along, Leanna, he says, and she walks away. I apologize for that, Mr. Wood and Mr. K. Jeremy says, bowing his head slightly in respect before leaving. Do you want to go, love? Tyler whispers in my ear, and I nod. If you don't mind, these guests are too snobby for me, I reply quietly, and he laughs softly. I understand, he says. He wraps his arm around me as we walk to where Jeremy is. Jeremy, Hannah and I are leaving now. Please let the guests know they can stay as long as they want, and have someone escort them to their rooms when they wish to leave, Tyler instructs, and Jeremy nods. Of course, Mr. Wood. Have a good night, he replies, and I smile at him. Good night, Jeremy. See you tomorrow, I say as we head out. That was an interesting evening, I say as I settle into bed while Tyler prepares for the night. Well done, baby, he replies. You made it through your first event with important guests, he says as he climbs into bed beside me. Is there an auction tomorrow night? I ask, and he nods. Yes, I've been planning it for the past week. There's one thing, though. Robson, Jet, Leon, Shay, and I will be wearing masks to keep our identities hidden, he explains, reaching into his nightstand drawer. Since you're part of the auctions here, he says, handing me a lovely mask with an ivory and gold design. It's beautiful, I reply, and he smiles. You'll need to wear it when we talk to guests who don't know us. The auctions will take place at the hotel, and no one connected to the hotel knows about them, he continues. I nod. Okay. Sounds simple enough, I say, and he smiles back. I put the mask on my bedside table and turn to face Tyler. Good night, Ty. Love you, I say, snuggling close to him. Good night, baby girl. I love you too, he replies, lightly brushing my forehead before I fall asleep. Hannah's POV. Finally done with work, I say, flopping down on the couch in the main living area. "Don't get too cozy, there's an auction tonight," Leon says as he sits down next to me. "I know. Ty gave me a mask last night," I say, and I hear the door open. "Robbo is here," Robson shouts. "Be quiet," Shay calls out from his corner. "Make me," Robson replies, taking a seat on the other couch. "Are you challenging me?" Shay asks as he stands up. "Don't fight," I shout, and they both turn to look at me. "You two are acting like children, honestly," I add. I feel someone ruffle my hair, and I lean back to see Tyler beside me. "What's up, Buttercup?" I ask with a smile. He pulls me closer, and I grin. "I missed you," he whispers, and I softly say, "I missed you too." "Can't you two find somewhere else?" Leon jokes. I lightly tap him with my foot, and he yelps, making Tyler, Shay, and Robson laugh. "That was mean," Leon complains, and as I poke him again, he grabs my foot and tries to push me off the couch. "Ouch," I say, noticing Jet standing behind the sofa. "Jay, help," I call, raising my arms. He walks over and lifts me back, saying, "Not cool, Leo," and sets me down next to Tyler. Tyler wraps his arms around me, and I rest my head comfortably. "When is the auction?" I ask. Shay finally leaves his corner and joins Robson on the couch. "It's in a few hours. Guests will start arriving within the next hour," Shay says, and I nod. "What made you leave your corner?" Robson asks, glaring at Shay. "I came to talk to her," he says, and I roll my eyes. "You know, I'm only 21, I reply. He nods. "Yeah, 2 years younger than me, you're still young," he says, and Tyler laughs. "You're the youngest here, Hannah," Robson adds. "I'm 25. Tyler, Jet, and Shay are 23. Leon is 22 and you are 21, he explains, and I nod. "It's always fun, but I think I'm going upstairs," I say, standing up to walk to Tyler's room. "All the guests are in the auction hall. Let's go," Tyler says, getting up from the couch. I pick his mask up from the coffee table. "Here," I say, putting it on for him and tying it at the back. "Thank you," he replies. He picks mine up as well and puts it on for me, securing it tightly. I link my arm with his, and we walk down the stairs. Everyone else is wearing masks, too. They look like Tyler's, but in different colors. My brother's mask is black, Robson's is red, Shay's is silver, and Leon's is gold. "I love the masks, guys," I say, and they all smile. "Your mask looks great on you, sis," Jet comments, and Leon nods. "White always looks good on her. Nice choice, boss," Leon adds, and Tyler nods. "Come on, everyone is waiting," Tyler says as we walk to the elevator. "Wow, how many people are here?" I ask, and Shay laughs a little. "I think there are about 100 people based on the seating, and there are only 100 seats," he replies. I nod and ask, "What seat number are we?" I sit down next to Tyler on one of the sofas in our small private box. I notice this is the only box like it. All the other seats are by the stage. "We're 100, Robson says, sitting next to Leon, while Shay sits next to Jet. "Everything seems fine. Should we head back to the penthouse and watch on the monitors?" Tyler suggests, and the boys all agree. "Baby?" Tyler turns to me and I nod. "Sure," I say, and we all stand up and move to another private elevator that takes us to our usual spot. Now we're in the main living area, watching the auction on the big TV. It feels unreal. "Boss, do you see that guy there?" Robson asks, pointing to a man standing at the edge of the seating area. I recognize him. It's my ex-boyfriend, Carter. "Yes," Tyler says. "I know him," I add, and they all look at me. "That's my ex-boyfriend, Carter. He was not very nice," I say softly. Jet gives me a gentle hug. "He was not kind?" Tyler asks, his face becoming serious. "It was tough for me back then. We started dating when I was 16, but I ended it when I was 18 because I didn't want to keep being treated poorly. If you look closely, you can see some scars on my stomach. One is from an accident, and the other is from a tougher situation." I mention this, and a tear slips down my cheek, but Jet quickly wipes it away. "I'm calling him up here to see what he wants," Tyler says as he pulls out his phone. Tyler's point of view. "I can't believe Hannah had to deal with a boyfriend who hurt her. I respect that she didn't tell me sooner, but now that I know, I want to speak to him. Jeremy, please bring the man by seat 50 up to the penthouse," I say on the phone. "Of course, Mr. Wood," I will bring him, Jeremy replies before I hang up. I walk back to Hannah and pull her close. Boss, Hannah, you two need your masks back on, Leon says, giving us our masks. Thanks, Leo, Hannah says as she takes hers. She puts my mask on for me, and I do the same for her. A few minutes later, Jeremy walks into the penthouse, bringing Carter with him. Thank you, Mr. Frunter. I will let you know when this man needs to go, I tell Jeremy, and he nods before leaving. I pull Hannah closer to me, and she smiles up at me. What's your name? I ask Carter. He looks around nervously. I'm Carter Johnson, he replies. Jet crosses his arms, ready for a tough conversation. Why were you at the auctions without a seat? I ask. Carter sighs. I was looking for my ex-girlfriend. She left me without saying anything and went with someone else. She works as a maid, so I've been checking local hotels, he explains. I tighten my grip on Hannah. What was your girlfriend's name? I might be able to help, I say politely. Why should I tell you? He responds. I chuckle softly. Because, Mr. Johnson, I run the auctions, and I can easily find out anyone who works here, I reply. Carter seems a bit reassured. Her name is Hannah Kaiser, he says, then looks at Hannah. You look just like her, he adds, taking a step towards her. I instinctively move to block him, while Shay steps in to hold Carter back. I think it's best if you leave her alone, I say firmly. Hannah hides her face against my back, and Carter looks confused. That girl looks just like Hannah, he repeats. Jet gently takes Hannah from me, making it easier for me to talk to him. Mr. Johnson, I don't know you, and I have never met your girlfriend, Hannah says with confidence. I assure you I am not her, Hannah says, changing her voice so Carter won't recognize her. I step closer to Carter and he steps back. Mr. Johnson, I think you should leave now and not come back. I know all the staff here, and Hannah Kaiser does not work here, I tell him, and he nods. I call for Jeremy, and he arrives quickly to take Carter out. Once Carter is gone, Hannah rushes into my arms. It's okay. He won't find you, I whisper in her ear, rubbing her back. I'm going to bed, Ty. See you in the morning, Jet says as he walks to his room, and soon the others follow him to their own rooms. Come on, I say gently, lifting Hannah. We're going to bed too, I say, and she cuddles into my chest as I carry her upstairs. Hannah's POV. It's been 6 months since my first auction, and I've been to quite a few since then. I actually enjoy the auctions. They are quite fun. I help Tyler a lot with the planning, and he appreciates my thoughts. He also asked for my help with some new ideas for the web, and I, of course, agreed. I've continued working at the hotel, but now I work mostly in the afternoons because Tyler likes having me around when he wakes up. He usually gets up around 11 a.m., so I have lunch around 1 p.m., and then work until about 8 or 9 p.m. Jeremy is fine with this because my job mainly involves cleaning the penthouse, which I can do last and leave my supplies there. I also clean the other VIP rooms, which doesn't take much time. Jet and I are closer than ever. A couple of months ago, I joined the group with Jet because he kept asking. He got Tyler to agree first, which was surprising, and I finally gave in when he made his best plea. I really enjoy it. Jet has taught me a lot, and I feel I can defend myself well. I even learned how to use a safety device, which has been fun as I try to mimic Jet. He has encouraged me to keep it with me always because I need to be ready to protect myself since I am related to him. When the guys annoy Jet, mostly Leon and Robson, he jokes around with his device, which makes them a bit nervous. It's amusing, so I started doing it too. Until about a month ago, apart from Tyler and Jet, the others didn't know I could handle one. Leon made a comment about my past, and I thought it would be funny to show him I'm not the same person anymore, which led to a priceless reaction on his face. Today, Tyler has another press conference, and I think I will stay here. Everyone else is going, but Tyler hasn't told me. I turn over in bed and see Tyler isn't next to me. It feels unusual. I get up and notice some boxes on the stool at the foot of the bed with a note on top. I walk over and pick it up. Good morning, my love. Sorry I'm not there right now, but there were some issues at the hotel and I didn't want to wake you. I bought you some clothes for later today since you're coming to the press conference with me. Jet, Shay, Leon, and Robson. Look beautiful as always. I'll see you in an hour. I love you, Tyler. I smile and put the note down. I open the smallest box and find a silver necklace with a crescent moon pendant. Then I open a shoebox and find some black suede shoes. In another box, there is a black blazer jacket. In the fourth box, there's a black pencil skirt. And in the last box, I find a dark blue blouse with a golden collar. I take a shower, curl my hair so it falls down my back, and then get dressed. I check the time on my phone and see that Tyler will be here soon. That means we will be leaving shortly. I grab my bag and head downstairs, finding everyone except Tyler sitting on the couches. "What's up, friends?" I ask as I sit next to Jet. "We're waiting for your boyfriend to get back so we can go," Shay replies. Jet puts his arm around my shoulder and says, "You look nice." I smile and say, "Thanks, Jay." "You all look great," I tell them, and they laugh. Everyone is in suits except Leon, who is wearing a shirt and tie without a jacket. Just then, Tyler walks in and greets me before sitting next to Shay. "What was the issue, boss?" Leon asks him. "Remember Mr. K-Dot?" Tyler replies, and we all nod. "Well, he remembered Hannah from the party and wanted her to work only for him. Jeremy refused, of course, and then Mr. K-Dot was not happy about it, so I went and talked to him." Curious, I look at Tyler and ask, "What did you tell him?" He smiles at me. "I told him you're with me," he says, as if I should have already known. "Where is the press conference?" I ask as we all get into the limo. "It's at Dad's office building," he answers. I nod and lean my head on his shoulder. He holds my hand. A little while later, we arrive at Max's office building. I think the press conference will be in one of the many meeting rooms here. We all get out of the limo and walk into the reception area of Wood Enterprises. I believe Xavier is going to take over when Max retires because Tyler has his hotel. "Hi, Max," I say as I hug him while we walk into the meeting room. "Hello," he replies warmly. "Dad," Tyler says, shaking his hand. They both smile at each other. "Son," Max responds before heading to the front row to sit down. I give Tyler a quick kiss on the cheek and take a seat next to Max. The other guys sit next to me, likely to make sure I'm okay, though I can handle myself just fine. "Good afternoon, everyone," Tyler says as he stands at the podium, ignoring the camera flashes. "I called this press conference today because I have something important to share." I sit up a bit straighter, interested, as this is the first time I'm hearing about it. The other boys probably know more than I do. For the past 7 months, I have been in a relationship, one of the best relationships of my life. I can't thank this girl enough for making me who I am today, he declares, looking right at me. Max taps my leg and gestures for me to come up, so I do. I stand next to Tyler, who puts his arm around me. "This is Hannah Kaiser, my girlfriend," Tyler announces, and the cameras start to flash even more. "Mr. Wood! Mr. Wood!" one reporter shouts. "Yes," Tyler replies, still holding me close. "Is this relationship a publicity stunt?" the reporter asks, and Tyler shakes his head. "This isn't a publicity stunt. I never understood why people thought I was heartless, but I can assure everyone that I care for this girl very much," he says firmly. I look up at him and smile, feeling a deep connection to him. Hannah's perspective. The press conference has just ended, and the guys and Max are going home in a separate limo because Tyler is taking me somewhere. I honestly have no idea where we are going. We've been driving for an hour and I am confused. I trust him, but surprises can be a bit nerve-wracking. I never seem to be ready for them. "I can't believe you called a press conference just to share our relationship," I say, and Tyler laughs. "I care about you, and you know that," he replies. "I can't believe the magazines haven't shared any pictures from our past outings," he says, and I agree. It was a surprise, to be honest. "Can I keep my job?" I ask, and he looks a bit puzzled. "Why do you want to work when you could just ask me for anything?" he says, and I let out a sigh. "There are a few reasons," I explain, and he listens. "First, I really enjoy what I do. If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing it. I don't like always needing to ask you for things. I know you can give me nice things, but I feel bad taking advantage of you. I appreciate the gifts, but I don't want anyone thinking I'm only after your money," I say. He lets out a sigh. "You can keep your job. I trust you to take care of my place. Don't worry about taking advantage. I give you those things because I care about you and think you're worth it." "Thank you," I reply with a smile as we reach our destination. Tyler steps out, comes around to my side of the limo and opens the door for me. I take his hand and appreciate the kind gesture. I look around and see we are at an airport. "Look to your left," Tyler whispers, and I do. Right in front of us is a private jet with Wood Industries written on the side. "Wow, why?" I ask, and Tyler laughs, putting his arm around my waist. "We're going on vacation. No worries or distractions while we're away," he explains, and I giggle. That sounds perfect. As we walk towards the jet, I admire its beauty. "This is wonderful, Ty," I say, and he smiles. "Only the best for you," he assures me. Once we step inside, I head to the bedroom. "I'm going to take a nap for a bit. Wake me when we land," I say, taking off my jacket and shoes before snuggling into the bed. A few minutes later, I feel the bed shift as someone sits beside me. I smile and close my eyes, resting again. "Hey, wake up," I hear a gentle voice say, giving me a light shake. I turn away, wanting to stay under the covers. "We're at our destination," the same voice says again. I open one eye and see Tyler smiling at me. "You sound like a GPS," I reply, and he chuckles. "That was my goal," he jokes. I roll my eyes playfully. "Great. The richest person in the world who also happens to be my boyfriend is a GPS," I say with a laugh. "This is one for the books," I exclaim, and Tyler playfully covers my mouth with his hand. "How are you so lively after sleeping for 5 hours?" he asks once we pull apart. "I don't know, but I was being sarcastic," I say, and he sticks out his tongue at me. "Whatever, but we need to go to our place." I giggle. "You could just say hotel." He shakes his head. "I would if it were one," he replies as we leave the bedroom. "So where are we?" I ask Tyler as we sit in another limo heading to our surprise location. "We're somewhere warm and sunny, different from England," he explains, and I laugh. "England is never warm or sunny, so this should be interesting," I reply. He nods as the driver speaks up. "Mr. Wood, we've arrived," the driver announces, and the door opens to reveal a lovely beach house, standing alone by the coast. "This is my private beach and beach house," Tyler says, opening the door to a stunning home. "When did you get this?" I ask as we settle in the cozy living area. "I bought it last year, but it needed a lot of work. I never got it done because I didn't have anyone to come with. I also have another private beach in northern Spain with 5 beach houses, one for each of the guys," he explains, and I nod. "Where are we now?" I ask, and he pulls me closer. "We're in southern Spain," he replies with a smile. "When did you finish it?" "This place is really nice," I say, and he laughs. "About a month after we started dating, I thought it would be great to fix this place up. I know how much you love the beach, so I made it our beach house," he says, and I smile thinking about it. "But what's with the extra room? It has furniture for a bedroom," I ask. Tyler smiles a bit shyly. It's actually a room for kids. If we ever have a family, we can stay here together," he says, and I sit up surprised. "You've been thinking about our future?" I ask, and he nods. "Yes, I can really see a bright future with you," he says, and I smile back. He sits up too and leans against the headboard, putting an arm around my shoulder as I lean in. "I like that idea," I say, feeling happy about what might come. I say, "Can you imagine our friends taking care of a baby?" Tyler laughs. "I wonder if I could trust them. Jet would be responsible. Shay would just complain about the baby crying. Leon would want to play and end up with the toys, and Robson would spoil the baby," he says. I nod. I know. Jet would be an uncle. But what if we made the others, including Jet, the godparents? I suggest. And Tyler beams at me. "When the time comes, we can definitely do that. I know our child will be safe," he says, and I giggle. "Exactly. I can't imagine if we have a girl and she brings home a boy," I say, and Tyler shakes his head. "No way. She won't be dating until she's older," he says, and I roll my eyes. "Sure then," I say, shrugging. "I know who she will talk to about boys," I say, and Tyler makes a playful face at me. I really like these moments with Tyler. We have so much fun, and now we are talking about our future daughter. I never thought I could share that with a guy until I married him, but I want to be with Tyler. Hannah's POV. This vacation has been wonderful so far. I enjoy spending time with Tyler. He hasn't worked at all and promised me he won't until we get home. Jed is in charge back home right now so we can have some privacy and relax. Hey, Tyler calls from the bedroom. I put my book down and go to him. He's lying on the bed and gestures for me to join him, so I do, wearing his t-shirt. What's up? I ask, looking up at him. We're going out for dinner. Can you be ready in an hour? He asks, and I nod. Of course. Is it formal or casual? I ask, and he smiles. Formal. I have a reservation at a nice restaurant that is hard to book, but I managed to do it, he says, gently running his fingers through my hair. What do you mean managed? I ask as he smooths my hair back. I know the restaurant owner. We've been friends for a while, and he wants to meet my girlfriend, he says, and I smile. Sounds fun. I need to get ready, I say, trying to get up, but Tyler pulls me back. You always look great, my dear, he says with a kind smile before letting me go. I take a shower, curl my hair, and put on a lovely off-the-shoulder dress and some nice shoes. I wear an amethyst necklace Tyler gave me a few weeks ago and always keep my silver ring on, except when I shower to keep it safe. I close my bedroom door and walk into the living room where Tyler is waiting. He changed into a suit that makes him look very handsome. When he sees me, his face lights up. How do I look? I ask, feeling a little unsure. Tyler steps closer and places his hands on my waist. I keep wondering how I got so lucky to have you in my life. You look amazing, he says, looking at me kindly. I feel myself blush and look away, but Tyler gently turns my head back to him. You have no idea how you make me feel, he says sincerely. Maybe I have some idea, I reply, and we share a nice moment. Reservation for Wood, Tyler says, wrapping his arm around my waist. Of course, Mr. Wood, please follow me, the waitress replies, taking 2 menus, and we follow her to a cozy booth in the corner. We sit down across from each other, and I smile at the waitress. Thank you, I say, and she smiles back. Please ask for Kara when you're ready to order. She will take care of you tonight, the waitress says before leaving. Kara, the waitress, seems to be quite forward, often glancing at Tyler even though it's obvious we are together because he is holding my hand across the table. Tyler seems unaffected, but her behavior encourages her to keep looking at him. Here's your food, Kara says, placing Tyler's meal in front of him with a smile before putting mine down. However, she seems careless, and the plate wobbles at the edge of the table. I move in time to avoid a mess, but the plate slips, breaking on the floor. Kara looks annoyed as she cleans up and heads back to the kitchen. A moment later, she comes back with another plate of my food, setting it in front of me. Be careful with the plate this time, she says in a slightly rude tone. This is for you, she says to Tyler, handing him a piece of paper. Tyler looks at it and smirks. Kara, is it? Tyler asks, and she nods. Do you mind getting Tom for me? He asks, and she nods again. You mean Tom Prince, the owner? She asks, and Tyler confirms with a nod. Show me the paper, Ty, I say, and Tyler hands it to me. The note reads, Hi, handsome. You seem like you're looking for a good time. Why are you with someone like her? When you realize your mistake, call me. I roll my eyes and give the note back to Tyler. For the record, she is the one being rude, not you, Tyler says, looking straight into my eyes as he holds my hands. I love you, and she cannot compare to you, he adds, and I smile. I love you too, Ty, I respond, feeling warmth inside me. He holds my hand for a moment longer. A few minutes later, a guy who looks about Shay's age with blonde hair and green eyes walks up. Hey, Tyler, how are you? He asks, and Tyler shakes his hand. I'm good, thanks, Tom, he replies, and Tom looks at me. Is this your girlfriend? He asks, and Tyler nods. I smile at Tom. Hi, I'm Hannah, I say, offering my hand for a shake, which Tom takes. Kara told me you wanted me, Tom says, and Tyler nods. I did. Hannah broke a plate, but that was because Kara placed it on the very edge of the table. Hannah barely managed to move in time. When Kara came back, she spoke to Hannah like she was a child and then gave me this, he explains, handing Tom the note. Tom reads it and looks worried. I can't apologize enough for this. You've been my friend for a while, Ty, and that makes it worse, he says. Tyler shakes his head. It's all right, mate. I just think you should mention it to her, Tyler suggests, and Tom nods. I'll call her over now. I think it's right for me to talk to her in front of you guys, he says, and we both agree. Tom walks away for a minute. Please sit here, Tyler says, patting the spot next to him. I get up and sit next to Tyler, who kindly puts his arm around my shoulder as we wait for Tom to come back with Kara. A few minutes later, Tom returns with Kara, looking happy. Kara, have you heard of Tyler Wood? Tom asks. Kara shakes her head. Yes, Mr. Prince, I've never seen photos, so I wouldn't recognize him, she replies. Tom crosses his arms. This is Tyler Wood, my good friend, he says, pointing to Tyler. And I'm sorry to say, Kara, that this note, he says, holding up a piece of paper, has upset Mr. Wood and his girlfriend. Kara's face turns pale as she realizes what's happening. This isn't the first time, Kara. I'm afraid you're let go, Tom says, giving us a nod before leaving with Kara. Tyler and I finish our food and go to pay, but our new waitress tells us that Tom took care of it, which I think is really nice. Tyler leaves a note for Tom, inviting him to visit whenever he is in England. We leave the restaurant, and I link my arm with Tyler's as we walk back to the beach house. Do we need to get a car again, Ty? I ask. He shakes his head. It's only a 20 to 30-minute walk if you don't mind walking, he replies, and I smile at him. I like walking, I say, and he nods. After a few minutes, I start to shiver a bit. Spain at night isn't very warm, especially with a strong breeze. Tyler stops and takes off his jacket. He wraps it around my shoulders, and I slip my arms into the sleeves before linking my arm with his again. This is one amazing holiday, I say, and Tyler gives me a warm smile in return. Hannah's POV. We got back from Spain last night, and I'm going back to work this afternoon. Tyler wanted me to wait until tomorrow, but I want to see Elijah, Jeremy, and Beth because I've missed them so much. The one person I don't miss from work is Leanna. Ever since I got the penthouse job, she seems to dislike me even more, which is quite annoying. I find it funny that I can stand up for myself now that I'm dating Tyler, and I feel comfortable sharing my thoughts with him. I open my eyes expecting Tyler to be asleep, but he's awake and smiling at me. Don't watch me sleep, I say, covering my face, and he chuckles before moving my hands. You look so cute, he says, and I blush. You're not usually awake this early, I reply, and he hands me his phone. Baby, it's almost lunchtime, he says, and I check the time. He's right. I woke up about an hour ago, he continues, taking his phone back and placing it on the nightstand. Have you been watching me sleep the whole time? I ask. He nods. I like to admire my beautiful girlfriend, he replies with a smile. I have to go to work, I say, getting out of bed, but Tyler gently pulls me back. Stay and go back tomorrow, he suggests, drawing me close. No, Ty. But I will find a middle ground, I say, turning to face him. I will go down to lunch and talk with Eli, Beth, and Jez, and then I'll tidy up here, I propose, and he smiles at the idea. Fine, at least I get to see you. He agrees, and I nod. I will ask one of the other maids to take the cleaning cart back down, he adds. I get out of bed and take a shower before changing into my work uniform. Baby, Tyler calls from his office. I was only in the bedroom, I reply, walking over to him. I know, but you wouldn't have heard me otherwise, he says, pulling me onto his lap. What did you want? I need to go, I say, putting my pager on my belt. I just wanted to say that I love you and I'll see you later, he says. And I smile. I love you too, I say quickly and get up from his lap. I walk over to the main living area and see everyone eating together. I won't be cleaning that up later, I mention as I pass by. But you're supposed to do it, Shay says just as Tyler comes down the stairs. She's also my girlfriend. She doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to, he states firmly, standing next to me. Exactly, I add, sticking my tongue out at Shay before waving goodbye to Jet and leaving the penthouse. Hi, everyone, I say as I sit down at the table with Elijah and Beth. Hey, we haven't seen you in a while, Elijah says, wrapping his arm around me. I know. I was on vacation, I reply, and Beth gives me a knowing smile. With Mr. Wood? She asks. I nod and say, well, he is my boyfriend. Elijah laughs and adds, "Everyone saw the press conference. Jezza played it during a meeting." I smile. "So everyone knows now," and they both nod in agreement. "Welcome back, honey," I hear Jeremy say from behind me. "Hey, Jez," I respond as he sits down next to Beth. "We missed you," he says. "Some of us did," someone says from behind. I turn around to see Leanna. "Well, I think the feelings are mutual," I reply, facing her. "Just because you are acting disrespectfully doesn't give you the right to treat me like this. I still have my position here," she states. I cross my arms and decide to call for help by pressing my pager. I know at least one of the guys will come down. "Look, Leanna, I'm not who you think I am. I've known Mr. Wood's brother for a long time, and that's how I met Mr. Wood," I explain. Leanna rolls her eyes and replies, "Everyone in this hotel knows Mr. Wood wouldn't date you because of your reputation. It's either a publicity stunt or you're just his assistant." I hear gasps from around the room. Turning, I see my brother glaring at Leanna. He strides over and puts his arm around my shoulder. "Why, you're Jet Cooper," Leanna stammers, and Jet nods. "I am. I take it you know about my reputation," he says, causing Leanna to fall silent. "I'd appreciate it if you didn't speak about my sister that way," he continues, and Leanna's expression changes. I gently push Jet's arm off my shoulder and go on my tiptoes. "Jet, I'm taking Beth and Elijah to the penthouse. Can you handle things here?" I ask softly, and he nods. "Of course, sis. See you later," he whispers, giving my cheek a quick touch before turning back to Leanna. I walk back to Jeremy, Beth, and Elijah, who look at me with questions except Jeremy, who already knows the others. "Jez, can you let Beth and Elijah leave for the rest of the day? They're coming with me?" I ask. He nods. "Yes, Hannah, I can do that," he replies before leaving the cafeteria. "Where are we going, honey?" Elijah asks as we walk to the private elevator. "I think it's time you meet my boyfriend and friends," I say, sliding the key card in. "Tyler's POV, boss, your girl is here," I hear Leon call from downstairs. "Why is Hannah here? She shouldn't be back yet unless Leanna caused trouble again." "Boss," Leon calls again. "Calm down, Leo," I reply, heading down the stairs. I spot Hannah sitting on the couch with two others across from her. "Hey, baby," I say, sitting next to her, and she smiles back. "Hi, Ty," she replies. "Why are you back early?" I ask, wrapping my arm around her. "Guess," she says with a grin, and I chuckle. "Leanna?" I ask, and she nods. "She's so annoying," one of Hannah's friends says. I look at Hannah, who smiles a bit shyly. "That's Beth," she says, pointing to a girl with red hair. "And that's Elijah," she adds, pointing to the boy next to her. Both Elijah and Beth smile back. "Nice to meet my best friend's boyfriend. You did great, Hannah," Elijah says, and Hannah giggles. "Oh, stop it, Eli," she replies playfully, while Beth gives Elijah a light tap on the arm. "Thank you," Hannah adds as Elijah gives Beth a quick glance. "Let me introduce you to my friends," Hannah whispers in my ear. Hannah's POV. "Today I have a day off from work, so Beth decided we should go into town. It's been a while since we had a day out together." Last night, I stayed at the penthouse again. I can hardly remember the last time I stayed in my dorm. I think I've only spent 3 nights there while I've been with Tyler. He likes having me close, and honestly, I'm not sure I could sleep without him nearby. He holds me until I fall asleep, and then he rests too. When I asked him about it, he said it's his way of making sure I'm okay before he relaxes himself. I get out of bed and gently move Tyler's arm off my waist, careful not to wake him. I know if he stirs, he'll want to keep me there longer. After a quick shower, I change into a black t-shirt with "Sleeping with Sirens" on it, some skinny jeans, black boots, and a plaid jacket. I notice Tyler isn't in bed. Knowing him, he probably woke up and went to work since I wasn't there. I walk into his office and find him at his desk, dressed casually. "Ty, you need to get ready," I say as I walk over. He pulls me down onto his lap. "I'll get ready when I start work, which is in about an hour," he replies, and I nod. "Well, I'm off to meet Beth now. I'll be back in a couple of hours," I say. He nods. "Text me when you need a ride and Josh will come in the limo," he says. I nod again. "Do you have my card?" he asks. I pull it from my purse. Yes, you won't let me use my own money, I tell him, and he nods. Because I care about you. That's why, he says with a gentle smile. I care about you too, I reply with a smile as I leave his suite. After saying goodbye to the guys in the penthouse, I walk down to the lobby and see Beth talking to Jeremy. Hey, everyone, I say as I approach the reception desk. Hey, ready to go? She asks, and I nod. Ready as I can be, I reply, and she giggles. Let's go, she says, linking her arm with mine. Bye, Jez, I say, and he smiles back. See you, girls, he replies, getting back to his work. Beth and I head out of the hotel and into town. So how are things with Mr. Wood? Beth asks, giggling. Everything is good, I say. The guys in the penthouse are really fun, I add, and she smiles. How about you and Wyatt? I ask, and she blushes. Everything is great. We've been planning the wedding for a while now. I'm thinking of moving in with him after we get married, she says, and I smile at her. I can't wait to go dress shopping, I say. She nods excitedly. I know. It's going to be wonderful. Let's see some now, she says, running toward a bridal shop. We arrive at a beautiful bridal store and the dresses are incredible. I take a picture of the one in the window, my perfect dress, with lace sleeves and lovely details. I send the picture to Tyler with a text. This is my dream dress, Ty. What do you think? Love you, Honey XX. As I walk inside the shop, I see Beth looking at the dresses in awe. I want one now, she says with a pout, and I laugh. There's nothing stopping you from trying them on, I say, and her face lights up. You gonna sit there? She asks, pointing to a chair near the dressing room. Sure, I reply, sitting down. While Beth is changing, my phone buzzes. I check it and see a message from Tyler. I think you would look amazing in that. I love you too, and be safe. Ty. I smile and put my phone away. After Beth finishes trying on dresses, we head to the local coffee shop. Just as we're about to go inside, someone grabs my wrist and pulls me away. I look and see it's Carter. Carter, let go of me, I say, trying to pull my wrist free, but he holds on tightly. No, I found you again, and I'm not letting you go, he says, pulling me along. Carter, please, I plead, but he doesn't let go. I beg you, please let me go, I say, feeling tears in my eyes. I'm scared. I thought I had left him behind. I look around for help and see Beth at the entrance of the coffee shop, but she's turned away. Beth! I shout, and she turns, her face changing when she sees Carter. Please help me! I yell just as Carter pulls me toward a van. Everything goes dark. Tyler's POV. When Hannah sent me the picture of the wedding dress, I imagined us getting married. The thought of Hannah being mine forever is wonderful. I can see her walking down the aisle to me in that dress. She would look amazing. Nothing and no one compares to her. I decide to go downstairs to see what everyone else is doing. As I reach the stairs, I see Beth running into the room. Tyler! She shouts, rushing to me. What happened? Where's Hannah? I ask. She shakes her head, tears rolling down her cheeks. It was Carter. We were outside the coffee shop and he grabbed Hannah. He took her away in a van and I think he hurt her. She was upset, and I only thought to come here, she says, and I nod slowly. Leon comes over and gives her a comforting hug so she can let her emotions out. Jet, we need to find this guy. He has my girlfriend. Get any information on him and send your team after him, I say. Jet nods and quickly leaves, probably heading to the gang house. Everyone cares for Hannah deeply. She trains with them often. When Jet is busy, Hannah often takes charge, keeping things running smoothly, and they all appreciate her. I never thought her ex would find her or take her away. Hannah knows how to protect herself. She always has a way to defend herself, and I don't understand why she didn't use it. Maybe if there were many people around, she didn't feel safe doing so. I just want to find her and have her back by my side. Hannah's POV. I have been here for a week. I have no idea where I am. I haven't been allowed to leave the small room I'm in, and the only person I've seen is Carter, someone I can no longer understand. I woke up here in a small room with a simple bed in one corner and a tiny bathroom. The clothes I've been given are uncomfortable and not mine. I feel trapped, not just physically, but emotionally too. Carter has been controlling everything. I think I've hurt my wrist badly. It happened after he pushed me, and I fell wrong. Since then, it has been swelling and painful to move. What makes it worse is losing track of time. I keep blacking out, and when I wake up, things feel worse. There are other people in the house. I've heard them at least a dozen or more, most staying on the lower floor. Someone is always outside the door, making sure I don't try to leave. Carter stays upstairs. I think he has a few other people with him there, too. All I want is to be safe again. I want to see Tyler and know someone is looking for me. Every minute here feels like I'm fading away. The people here are not weak. They bring me food, and they are strong, but not as strong as Jet, Tyler, Robson, Leon, or Shay. Those guys work out every day. I miss Tyler so much. I know he, Jet, and the rest of the Dark Rain crew are searching for me. They mean a lot to me. When I was introduced as Jet's sister, they welcomed me right away. I am the only girl in the group, and I can tell they respect me. It's like being part of a family. Everyone looks after the girl Jet cares about, and that feels nice. I can't believe I was ever drawn to Carter. He seems plain compared to Tyler, who is brave. I just want Tyler back. As a tear rolls down my cheek, Carter comes in with a grin that makes me uneasy. "Good morning, Princess," he says, sitting next to me. I give him a disapproving look. "Don't look at me like that," he replies, and I roll my eyes. "I'm going to use the bathroom," I say, trying to get up, but he grabs my wrist, which thankfully isn't hurt. Ah. What about my good morning greeting?" he says, smirking. I shake my head. "You know what happens when you don't comply," he adds, and I nod reluctantly. "Good morning, Carter," I say quietly before heading to the bathroom. I close the door and lock it, sliding down against it, breathing hard. I know I have only been here a week, but I just want to leave. I don't like Carter and have felt uncomfortable around him since we first met. He scares me. This is no way to live. I need Tyler. That's the last thought I have before everything goes dark. Tyler's POV. "Tyler!" Jet shouts as he runs into the apartment. "We found her," he says, stopping to catch his breath. I jump up from the couch and rush over to him. "What?" I ask, needing to be sure I heard him right. "She is in a house about an hour away from here on the outskirts of town," he replies, and the others gather around. "What are we waiting for?" Leon asks, crossing his arms. "Let's go and get Boss's girl back," Robson says, and we quickly sprint to the fastest cars I own, heading to where my girlfriend has been kept for the past week. This week has been hard for me. I can't even imagine how it's been for Hannah. From what Beth, Elijah, and Wyatt have told me, this Carter guy is more dangerous than we thought. He has a history of trouble with the law, including charges for abuse and kidnapping. The thought of Hannah in danger makes me furious. If he has hurt her, he will face serious consequences. The gang takes care of their own, and Hannah means everything to me and Jet, so I worry about this guy's safety, even if he hasn't harmed her. The drive was supposed to take an hour, but we got there in just 25 minutes. We all jumped out of the cars, and I noticed the gang was there, all of them. Shay and others were ready too. Some may not be the best with weapons, but they are strong in close combat. Luke, Jet's right-hand man, walked up to the front door and kicked it down with ease. Jet and I entered first, and as guards rushed toward us, the gang members dealt with them smoothly. I spotted a door down the hall being guarded. Maybe that's where Hannah is. I signaled to Jet, and we hurried over to the door. I kicked it down and saw Carter lying on the bed. "Where is my girlfriend?" I shout, going over to him and holding him back. "Get off me!" he yells, trying to break free, but I stand firm. "Where is she?" Jet shouts, and Carter continues to wiggle. "Answer me!" he insists, and Carter points towards the bathroom. I let go of him and kick the bathroom door open. There, I find my girlfriend unconscious. I lift her carefully. As I check her over, I see her wrist is hurt, and there are marks and scrapes on her skin. I can't believe this is happening to her. I step back out to see Leon and Robson holding Carter as Jet confronts him. "What did you do to my sister?" Jet yells when he sees Hannah in my arms. "Do what you want with him, Jet. Make sure he pays for this," I say. He nods, understanding my worry. "Take care of him. I'm taking Hannah to the hospital," I stress, making sure he knows how serious it is. I signal for Leon and Robson to follow me. They push Carter to the ground, and we hurry into the main part of the house. Shay stands by the door. "Belle, let's go," Robson calls, and Shay nods, heading out with us. We get into the car, and I lay Hannah's head in my lap as we sit in the back. Robson is in the front seat. Shay drives, and Leon is next to me holding Hannah's legs. "Shay, drive us to the hospital. She needs help," I tell him, and he agrees and starts driving. I look down at Hannah. Despite the bruises, I only see beauty in her. Hannah's POV. I wake up to a beeping sound and feel warmth on my hand. I slowly open my eyes and turn my head a bit to see Tyler sleeping in a chair, holding my hand. I glance around and realize I'm in a hospital room, just me and him. It appears Tyler saved me and brought me here. I try to pull my hand away, but it wakes him. "Hannah?" he asks, rubbing his eyes. "Oh my gosh, you're awake," he says, getting up from his chair and giving me a gentle hug. "I need to get the guys," he says as he walks to the door and opens it. He talks to one of the guards, who walks off down the hall. Tyler returns just as 4 guys enter the room: my brother, an artist, a thief, and a cop. "You're awake," they all say together, pulling me into a soft group hug. There's a knock at the door and the guys step back. "Who is it?" Tyler asks, and the door opens. "Mr. Wood, the doctor wants to speak with your girlfriend. They need to run some tests," a nurse says, and I feel a blush come to my cheeks. "She isn't my girlfriend yet," Tyler says, holding my hand again. "I'm sorry. The doctor just wants to talk to her," the nurse replies before leaving the room. "Why are there people guarding the door?" I ask, and everyone turns to Jet. "Do you not know them?" he asks, and I shake my head. "They haven't turned around," I say. Jet knocks on the glass and the guards turn around. It's Ashley and Aaron. They are 2 gang members I've become close to. "They worried. The whole gang did. 2 members have been watching your room while Tyler rested," he tells me, and Aaron and Ashley smile before going back to their posts. A few minutes later, a doctor comes in. "Ah, Miss Kaiser, good to see you awake," he says, and I smile back. "We will be running some tests on you. Mainly blood tests, but also some for your heart and lungs," the doctor explains, and I nod. "When can she go home?" Tyler asks, with the others looking at the doctor closely. "We've all been here a long time. We just want her home," Robson adds, which leaves me a bit confused. "How long have they been here? How long have I been out?" The doctor checks my chart to make sure everything is fine. He says I can leave in a few days, and everyone lets out a breath of relief. "Thank you, doctor," Tyler says, and the doctor nods back. After he leaves, Leon helps me sit up in bed. "Why are you all so happy I'm awake?" "What do you mean we've been here for a long time?" I ask, curious. They all look at Tyler, who smiles a little. "Hannah, you've been in a coma for 3 months. Your body just stopped working. What happened to you finally caught up, and that's why you passed out. You didn't wake up until today," he explains. My face turns pale. "A coma?" I say, stuttering. Tyler nods. "They've been doing tests, but they couldn't do everything because you were asleep," he adds, and I feel a few tears fall. "What if I hadn't woken up?" I ask, putting my head in my hands. "Hey, you woke up. That's what matters," Tyler says, lifting my chin gently. After a moment of tears, things start to feel normal again. We all laugh and joke together. "You know, the boss hasn't left this hospital since we found you," Leon says, leaning on his knees. "Really?" I ask, looking at my boyfriend, who is now blushing. "Really? He only left for the restroom or a shower. He had food brought to him from the hotel," Robson says, and Tyler gives him a light glare. "What's happened with work, the auctions, and the press conferences?" I ask quickly. Jet chuckles. "Slow down, sis," he tells me. "Press conferences and auctions were postponed. Tyler didn't go to work. The hotel has been closed," he explains, and I turn to Tyler. I lightly tap him on the back of the head. "Are you serious?" I ask. He rubs his head. "For being with you?" "Of course," he replies playfully, and I tap him again. "Why did you close the hotel? Jeremy could have handled it, or Beth and Elijah, those guys can manage." Tyler sighs. "I wasn't going to let the hotel run without me there to fix issues," he says, taking my hand. "None of us have been in a good place to handle business," Shay adds, and I roll my eyes. "Shay, you don't even do that kind of work," I respond, and he laughs. "Still as fiery as ever," he says. Robson jokes, "Didn't that show you enough?" She stood up to the boss twice and he listened. "Robson, I listened because I probably deserved it. Hannah makes a point, but I think none of us would have been able to keep working these last few months, Tyler says, and they all agree. I can't believe you did that, I say, crossing my arms and pouting. You need to tell Jez to reopen the hotel right now. You all are losing money and my friends are losing work too. Plus, you need to start planning the auctions again, I insist, and they all look at me. Don't any of you dare say no because that is not the answer I want to hear. Do I make myself clear? I ask, and their jaws drop, including Tyler's. You might as well be married to the boss. You act like it, Leon says as Tyler pulls out his phone. It feels good to be back. Hannah's POV. It has been about a month since I woke up from the coma, and I have been back in the penthouse for around 2 weeks. Tyler has decided that I should move into the penthouse since I am hardly at my dorm, and he wants to keep me safe. I understand his concern, especially after everything he went through while I was in the hospital. Now I live with my boyfriend, my brother, a dedicated police officer, a charming friend, and a talented artist. It's actually quite fun. The guys usually order breakfast, but one morning I wanted to cook for everyone. I had made breakfast for Tyler before, and he liked it. When Jet, Shay, Leon, and Robson walked into the dining room, they were pleasantly surprised because they had never tried my cooking. Today is Beth's wedding. I am really excited because she decided to wait to marry until I woke up. It's nice to see that Wyatt and Tyler became close while I was away. Tyler is one of Wyatt's groomsmen, and Elijah is his best man. I am still Beth's maid of honor, and her sister Jasmine is a bridesmaid. The wedding will be at the local church, and the reception is in a hall typically used for events. When Tyler offered the hall for the reception, Beth got so happy that she hugged him tightly. Of course, he wouldn't charge her for it because that might cause problems for him. I was woken up by a light hit from a pillow and sat up to find a very excited Beth in front of me. I had stayed with her in the dorms while Tyler was with Elijah and Wyatt in the penthouse. "Good morning," I said, rubbing my eyes. "I'm getting married," she exclaimed, and I laughed. "I know. We both need to get ready," I replied as she hurried off to the bathroom. While Beth was in the shower, there was a knock at the door. I checked what I was wearing, one of Tyler's long shirts, and figured it was fine. I opened the door to find Leon and Robson there. "Do you two ever go anywhere without each other?" I asked playfully, and they both chuckled. "Very funny, honey," Leon responded, while Robson handed me a small box, about the size of a jewelry box. "What's this?" I asked, curious. "It's a gift from the boss," Leon explained. "He's busy helping Wyatt and Elijah." I nodded and hugged them both goodbye as they left. After shutting the door, I sat on the airbed where I had slept. When I opened the box, I found a silver bracelet that looked like rope, with a silver anchor wrapped in it. Beth walked out of the bathroom and sat on her bed. "What's that?" she asked, and I showed her the bracelet. "It's from Ty. Rob and Leo just dropped it off. I think he wants me to wear it today," I said. She laughed while drying her hair. "Jasmine is doing our hair, right?" I asked, and she nodded. "Yes. She'll be here in half an hour. You should take a shower," she said. I placed the bracelet back in its box and went into the bathroom. After my shower, I returned to the bedroom and Jasmine was already doing Beth's hair. "Hi, Jazzy," I said, and Jasmine gave me a side hug. "How are you, Hannah?" she asked, and I sat down in the other chair facing them. "I'm good, thanks. How are Lee and the kids?" I asked. Lee is her husband, and they both are 27. They have 2 children, Harry, who is 3, and Isla, who is 1. "They are great. Lee keeps asking about you," she replied, and I smiled. "I heard you're dating Tyler Wood. That's great, hon," she added, and I giggled. "Thanks, Jazz. You will actually see him later," I said, and she gasped. "Really?" she asked, and I nodded. "The reception is taking place at his hotel," I explain, and she rolls her eyes. "Remember, Lee will be there and you're too old for Tyler," Beth says. Jasmine finishes styling Beth's hair and does her makeup before working on me. Beth's hair looks great in a ponytail while mine is curled. Jasmine helps Beth into her dress and I slip into mine. I'm wearing a light pink satin dress with silver details at the top. I add silver shoes and the bracelet Tyler gave me. Beth looks stunning in her dress, and Jasmine wears a similar dress in a lovely blue. The ceremony is sweet and heartfelt. Tyler keeps his eyes on me, which I find charming. Wyatt's vows are very touching, and he gets a bit emotional, leading Beth to comfort him. When it's Beth's turn to speak, she also feels emotional, and I'm ready with a tissue for her. As she tosses the bouquet, I catch it, drawing everyone's attention to Tyler. Beth invites the guys up, and they all exchange knowing smiles with Tyler. Tyler jokingly taps them on the head, making me laugh. Now, we're at the reception. I'm sitting at the head table next to Beth, with Tyler beside me. Eli is next to Wyatt, who is across from Beth, and Jasmine is beside Eli. Eli stands to give his speech, and I know I will need to speak too. Today, 2 of my best friends got married. I couldn't be happier for them, Elijah says into the mic. Wyatt has been my best friend since year 7, so I've known him a long time. It was nice to have him around when we had to deal with Beth and Hannah, he adds, and Beth and I pretend to be shocked in unison. Elijah, we were not that bad, I say, and Beth giggles. Keep going with the speech, Beth encourages, and Elijah nods. I don't really have any funny stories about Wyatt. He isn't one for silly stuff. He has been with Beth for so long, so I don't have anything about past relationships, Elijah says with a sigh. Why is your life so normal? Elijah jokes, and Wyatt laughs. That's why I have you as my best friend, Wyatt replies, and Elijah does a little silly dance. Anyway, I wish you both the best always. And please name your first son Elijah, he says before sitting down and handing the mic to me. I stand up and smooth my dress. You took my opening, Eli, I say, and everyone laughs. I've known Wyatt since I was young, and we have been best friends for over 20 years. I've been friends with Beth since I started secondary school, and she has become like a sister to me, I say, and they both smile at me. When I first met Beth, it was at school. I was sitting with Wyatt at lunch, and we might have looked like a couple. Beth came over and told us we looked cute together. Wyatt and I burst out laughing as I tell her that I'm just friends with Wyatt. And that's how our friendship started, I say, pointing at the newlyweds. Seriously, I love you both, and I couldn't be happier. And remember to name your first daughter Hannah, I say, and they both laugh. They better name their first daughter Hannah, or at least make it her middle name. Tyler is planning to expand the Wood Echo hotel chain to another country, but he hasn't chosen a place yet. The auctions will still happen, and all the guys will go with him. I think the Dark Rain gang will join Jet, so there will be a new gang house. Shay will likely get his own place. Robson is thinking about opening a bar and living above it. Leon plans to live in the hotel because he is designing most of it, and Tyler has been talking about building his own house. I am going with him, of course. He wouldn't let me stay here. The penthouse will still belong to Tyler, and everyone will meet there, but no one will live there. I don't mind not living in the penthouse, but knowing Tyler, he might go overboard with the place. I hope it won't be too fancy because that's not my style. I like things to be simpler. I didn't grow up with a lot of money, and I don't want my kids to get spoiled by it. I know Tyler and Xavier had a lot growing up, but they are still very down-to-earth. I hope that when Tyler becomes a dad, he can share what he learned as a kid with his own child. If we have a daughter one day, I'm sure she'll have him wrapped around her little finger. I wake up when I feel someone poking my sides. I open my eyes and gasp when I see Leon and Robson standing there. They both laugh, and I give them a serious look. First, who was poking me? I ask as I sit up and lean against the headboard. That was me. Robson wanted to splash water on you instead, Leon says, grinning. I roll my eyes. Second, why are you guys in here? Robson just hands me a note. Any other questions? He asks. I nod. Where is my boyfriend? They share playful looks. You will find out, Leon says before they both leave my room. I check my phone for any messages from Tyler, but there is nothing. Instead, I decide to open the note that Rob gave me. Good morning, baby. I hope you slept well. I didn't like leaving you so early because you looked so cute. I've wanted to do this for a while, and today it's happening. Throughout the day, some of the best people we know will give you different notes. First, you need to get ready. Go into the wardrobe and find the clothes I picked out. Then, go downstairs and find the person we know well. Have fun. I love you. I smile and fold the note back up. I go into the wardrobe and see the clothes Tyler mentioned. I pick them up and lay them on the bed before heading to the bathroom for a shower. After my shower, I dress in the outfit Tyler chose. Red skinny jeans, a black t-shirt with two interlocking triangles in white, black wedge sneakers, a black leather jacket, and a red bag. I slip my phone into my pocket and walk downstairs to find Shay. Shay is sitting in his usual spot by the window. "What's up, kiddo?" he asks, turning to look at me. "I think you have something for me," I say, and he laughs. "Here you go," he says, handing me a note. I read it. "Okay, baby, next, go find the expert who knows about auctions. I love you." I put the note in my bag and give Shay a hug. "See you later," I say, and he nods. I leave the penthouse and walk to the lobby to find Jeremy. When I find him, he is working at the computer at the reception desk. "Hey, honey, this is for you," he says, sliding a note over the desk. "By the way, so are these," he adds, handing me some car keys. These are the keys to the car Tyler and I used on our first outing. I walk to the parking lot and find the car. I get into the driver's seat before opening the note. "I hope you remember the car. Now you need to go to where we had our first date. There you will find a newly married guy. I love you." I place my bag and the note on the passenger seat before driving off to the amusement park Tyler and I visited. When I arrive, I see Wyatt leaning against the ticket booth. I get out of the car and walk over to him. He pulls me into a hug and then slips a note into my jacket pocket. He smiles at me, not saying a word before getting on his motorbike and driving away. "So this is the last one. Go to the place where your best friend is. I love you." I get back into the car and drive to the Woods house. When I arrive, I see several cars in the driveway, including one of Tyler's. I walk up to the front door and see a sign that says, "Come to the garden." So I open the door and head outside. In the garden, I find almost everyone I know, and Tyler stands in the middle of the group. As I walk towards them, he steps forward. "I'm glad you got here safely," Tyler says with a warm smile. "I have been thinking about how to do this for a long time, and my wonderful best friend encouraged me to do it today," he says as he slowly gets down on one knee. I cover my mouth in surprise. "This was my grandmother's ring. She told me to give it to the one person I love the most and want to spend my life with," he continues, opening a small black box to show an antique silver ring. "So, Hannah Sienna Kaiser, will you marry me?" he asks, and a tear rolls down my cheek. "Of course I will, you silly goof," I reply. He laughs as he slips the ring on my finger and stands up. He immediately hugs me, and we both laugh. After he lets me go, everyone comes over to hug us and offer their congratulations. "I look forward to having you as my daughter," Max says, kissing my cheek. "Thanks, Max," I respond. Suddenly, Tyler hugs me from behind and rests his chin on my shoulder. "How does Mrs. Hannah Wood sound?" he asks. I turn to face him. "It sounds perfect," I say, and he chuckles. "So, I am engaged to the love of my life. What a wonderful day." Epilogue 10 years later. Hannah's POV, wow. I remember the day Tyler proposed like it was yesterday. It was such a beautiful day. The next day, Tyler asked where he should build his new hotel. In truth, he wanted me to choose, and he went with my pick. Now we live in Dubai. After the hotel was built there, we moved and haven't looked back. We visit friends and family, but this is home now. We got married after a year of living in Dubai. It was amazing. We had our wedding in the hotel, and the reception was in the ballroom. Tyler and I have been married for 9 years, which sometimes feels hard to believe. I often worry that I might wake up and find out our whole relationship was a dream, which would be awful because I love Tyler so much and can't imagine life without him. Tyler built us a house in Dubai, just as he promised, on his own private island. We take a boat to get to the mainland. The house is beautiful, but not too flashy. It's all white and has 3 floors with a rooftop garden and pool. The kids each have their own rooms, which I appreciate as I know they'll argue as they get older. Tyler and I have the whole top floor to ourselves, just as he wanted when he built the place, and I was happy to agree. The house was a complete surprise for me. All I knew was that he was building something special, which was really sweet. I don't work at the Wood Echo Hotel anymore, which I find a bit annoying, but I still help with the auctions and the hotel business when needed. That was Tyler's decision after our first child was born. We have an 8-year-old son, Charlie Maxwell Wood, and a 5-year-old daughter, Melody Carey Wood. Charlie is being homeschooled in the hotel penthouse along with Jet's twin boys, Andrew and Luke, who are also 8, and Shay's daughter, Libby, who is 7. Jet married a girl named Amelia 2 years after Tyler and I tied the knot. Amelia was already expecting when they got married. Shay is single and isn't dating anyone right now, but he had a relationship that ended some time ago. The girl he was with couldn't keep the baby, but also didn't want to give it up, so Shay is now raising the child himself. Nev and Jeremy are still happily together. They adopted a boy named Kieran about 3 years ago, and their family is thriving. Beth and Wyatt have a busy household with a lot of kids. They have triplets, 2 boys and 1 girl, Danny, Nick, and Sadie, who are 10 years old. They also have twin girls, Haley and Freya, who are 8, a boy named Matthew, who is 6, and another set of twins, Connor and Andrea, who are 3. It's safe to say they have their hands full, but I couldn't be happier for them. I miss everyone a lot. It's tough living so far away, but I can always fly out to visit. One perk of being Mrs. Wood is having access to our private jet so I can travel whenever I want, and I always bring the kids along. The auctions we run are still going strong. We've tried to keep the kids out of it, but they found out what was happening. Charlie, Andrew, and Luke discovered our plans when they saw some papers Tyler, Jet, and I had in Tyler's suite at the penthouse. I know the kids will eventually take over the auctions when we're no longer able to. I am grateful to have so many wonderful children around me. It's only been 10 years, and I know there's still so much more to come. I never thought dating a millionaire would lead to the life I have now. Being with Tyler has given me an amazing lifestyle that many people admire, and I notice that. Some still think our marriage is just for show and that we don't truly care for each other. What they need to see is that our love is real and deep. I would have a hard time if I lost Tyler, and I know he feels the same way.